Nate Biltz Podcast.
Whatever I say to you and you say to me is way more important than you think.
You know all the tech stuff about like mics and stuff now?
I kind of like leave that to Greg.
Okay. Because I'm just like, this shit's kind of confusing, bro.
It's hard. It's hard. And I'm neurodivergent, so I'm like, oh boy.
What does that mean?
Like ADHD symptoms, ASD symptoms, like spectrum disorder stuff, like definitely not neurotypical. Like, are you neurotypical?
I don't know what that means.
Oh, like you don't fall into any kind of like range of like any autism spectrum or any of that like ADHD or any of that
I don't think
stuff?
I've ever been tested.
Yeah.
And I don't care.
Yeah. You're like me with knowing how much I weigh. Okay. I don't want
Yeah, why do you think it doesn't matter? Why do you think weighing yourself doesn't matter?
Because for me, like, it's completely irrelevant. Like
Okay.
what the scale says,
Yeah.
it means nothing to me whatsoever. And I almost like not knowing because especially now that I'm so massive with all these muscles.
Yeah, you're jacked. Holly hides her jackedness,
I'm
guys.
jacked. But
And the thing that I love about it is you're so confident with it too. You're like, it's because I got these muscles and I'm jacked now. And I'm like, wow, I wish I could say that. Like, I mean, because objectively, I'm like, I'm a strong human being. I'm a strong guy. But the way you say, like, I'm just jacked, bro. Like,
I'm massive. Compared to what I used to be, I'm massive. I have such big muscles.
yeah, that's what.
My arms don't fit in my old like jackets and stuff.
Yeah.
I'm massive.
But you're not, though.
I am.
But
I
you're.
can't even like reach my arms behind my back and like pull them up together because I have these two massive chicken breast lat muscles on each side. I have one over here, one over here.
I understand that. But when you say that and you come in with like a big t-shirt and you're not like a large human and you say, oh, my back muscles are massive, bruh. And I'm like, yo, this is crazy.
My back's covered in what looks like chicken breasts. I'm
Do you like
massive.
having them? Because a lot of people don't know how to flex their lats. Like, can you flex your lats?
I think so.
So it's like when you could like get nice and proud over here and then like flare them out. So
Oh, like guys do with their pecs in 80s movies where they like do one titty and then the other?
kind of, but lats, you can't do like one lat and the other.
You can't separate them?
Usually when you flare them, it's like one butterfly motion.
Okay, you can't wink, you gotta blink. Here we go. I'm feeling butterfly feelings.
Okay, she can flex her lats. So a lot of people, they want to be able to weigh themselves because they're on like a weight loss journey or weight gain journey. So I weigh myself every day.
Oh, and then you use that information for what?
So I'm on like a little bulk phase right now.
Bulking up.
Bulking up for a bodybuilding show.
Yes.
Yeah, so in July. Oh, cheers, mate.
Cheers. Good coffee.
Good coffee?
Hell yeah.
I don't know many other people that drink it black.
Really? Mm-mm. I love it black.
I also like a good latte though,
Sure.
like with hazelnut sweetener in it. But I only drink it black because it's healthier for you. Do you just like it better black? Mm-hmm. Okay. Mm-hmm. Yeah.
It feels like you get the essence of it more. Because usually if you mix anything into it at all, then I'm mostly just tasting that thing. I'd rather just taste the
beans.
coffee, yeah.
Did you see that there's are you a matcha girl?
Not really.
No?
Mantra or matcha? Mantra, yes. Matcha. What the fuck is matcha again?
It's the like green
Oh, yeah.
stuff. Tea.
It's really good for you?
Coffee. Apparently.
Okay, cool.
A lot of people are taking too much of it from Japan. Japan can't produce enough right now.
Oh, no.
Yeah.
Well, Japan.
I know.
Let's let them catch up.
It's all the LA coffee shops. They're just doing matcha lattes now.
I'll have a matcha latte next to my guacamole toast.
Ooh.
Avocado toast. We only eat green things here in Los Angeles.
That's hilarious because that's totally accurate. There's $30 avocado toast and a $20 matcha latte.
Yeah, man. I know, man. I live here too.
That's crazy.
Yeah, man. That's good. We have to make our green food, or our food green, because we only have green in the hills for a few months out of the year.
Oh, what's the green in the hills? Oh, until it burns down?
Yeah, or until it turns yellow.
I didn't get a lighter.
Right
I'm gonna get a
now
lighter.
It's green.
It's beautiful.
We're green in LA right now, y'all.
We're green in LA. It was brown, black, smoky, orange.
Yeah, that was rough.
The thing that was crazy about it, though, it was super pretty. The flames and stuff. Like, a lot of people, it obviously is scary, but all these people took extremely beautiful videos of these fires. I'm like, it's kind of fucked up. I know. All this shit is burning.
I know.
Go ahead and keep talking. I'm going to get a lighter.
I did get kind of turned on by, and I was sort of surprised at how I got turned on by this, but did you see the different videos that were coming out of the choppers, like coming in and dropping the fire retardant stuff on fires and like just blasting zones and like making the fire disappear? And it made me feel this like, this strange like man versus nature pride.
Yeah, I feel like everyone did. I feel like people across the world were.
Yeah.
I had, so mid-fire week, I was in Toronto, and Uber driver picks me up, and he's like, "Oh, where are you coming from?" I was from Los Angeles. It's like, I've been paying attention to all week, man. Like they've been dropping like water all over. Like, is it as crazy as they say? I was like, yeah. And I was like, oh, like people are paying attention to this from around the world.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. People were. It was interesting because I was getting contacted by friends from around the world where they're like, "We're seeing this on TV. Are you okay? Are you near it? What's the story?" Because it looks really bad.
You have a lot of East Coast friends, right?
Yeah, and some friends in Europe, and they were all like, "Yo, what's up?" And then for me, it got real when all of a sudden all my LA friends started contacting me and being like, "Yo, I'm looking on the map and there's something close to you that just started." This was the night I had to evacuate, and I was like, "Whoa!" When I started hearing from LA people, I was like, "Yeah, I'm on the move. I'm on the move."
Where did you go?
My phone just started blowing up. I went to my friend's house who lives in Hancock Park.
Okay.
And she's a bit of a prepper. She was the perfect place to go. She's got like a massive generator so that if like the whole city goes dark, she's got like water stored. She's got fucking antibiotics and shit.
Yeah.
I went there, but I it didn't really matter. Like nothing could comfort me that night. I was pretty fucked up by it.
I didn't think people needed to be that prepared ever again. And then that happened. And I have a friend who has to-go bags.
Yeah.
And I was like, I'll never need a to-go bag. Like, she'd always talk about it. Like, I have these dry foods. I have extra water. I got, like, my guns and all. And she's one of the most, she's a female lesbian who is more manly than most dudes, but could rock a dress. Like very well. Like she's hot, you know? Yeah. So it's like, but she makes me feel insecure sometimes because she's way more manly than I am. Like she helped install this and she could install like anything. I was like, you're the most competent human being I know. But I was like, no way people need to be that competent anymore. Like, we're good.
Well, now that I'm hearing that you have guns, I'm going to come find you in the apocalypse. If we have to be like getting out of LA on foot, like shooting the zombies and 100%. Stuff, I'm going to be on your team.
Me and Hunter know all the trails too. We're going to mark it out.
Yeah.
So we got you.
And do you have camel bags and stuff like 100%. That you can drink water as you're running?
Yeah.
All right. But I can't run as far as you can for as many. I mean, I'd probably only be able to go a few miles at a time and then have to take a break.
Yeah,
and then
probably.
Go a few miles at a time and take a break.
Do you do cardio at all?
I did a lot more when my dog was not elderly. I would do a 2 mile every night, and it was a huge part of my mental health, and it really was my favorite thing. And now with my dog, I still have to spend the same amount of time walking her, but now that she's elderly, she's walking so slow. We'll do like a block.
Does she still love it?
I can't tell. She still is wagging her tail and finding joy in things. I'm like really keeping an eye on the quality of her life, you know, and trying to listen to her and what she wants and stuff. But yeah, she's still, it seems like I love our walks, but now I kind of went through, I had to grieve it a little bit of like our 2 mile sunset walk thing through the hills was like a really special time of my day. And now that I can't do it and it's such a small amount of distance and we go so slowly, but now that I let go of what I wanted it to be and I'm allowing it to be what it currently is, I'm like, there's so much beauty here because I've never walked this slow, and walking this slow means I notice different things. And now I'm living in a brand new neighborhood that I've been walking through for 8 years, but now I'm experiencing it differently because it's totally different when you're walking like one step at a time. I start talking to the trees. I'm like stopping to sniff flowers. I'm like, whoa, I became a dog. I'm smelling things along the way. I'm experiencing my neighborhood through smell like a fucking dog. I love it.
That's beautiful.
And right now, Nate, there's an orange blossoming tree on my street. There is no better fragrance on planet Earth than an orange blossom. It's this fresh, clean, fragrant, perfumey, bright, beautiful smell that just fills your whole head. And it feels like you're like, I'm like, whoa, am I making out with this flower? I feel like the blossom is sharing something with me and I'm consuming it. And I'm like, wait, what do I give you? This is such a gift. There's this orange tree that's blossoming right down the street from me. And right beneath it, there's climbing jasmine. And the climbing jasmine is blooming right now too. And climbing jasmine is like warm butter melting over perfume. It's so like deep and like alive and like buttery and beautiful. Ooh, and there are hummingbirds. I mean, I have fallen in love with Southern California. Like, I know people like to talk shit about this city and that's fine and they don't have to live here, but my God, walking around under bougainvillea and orange blossoms and climbing jasmine and hummingbirds, like, get the fuck out of here. It's great. But I already was telling you, I'm on this spring equinox kick. It just happened 2 nights ago. The days evened out, same amount of light as dark. And now the darkness from yesterday forward is like diminishing a little bit every day. And the light is growing. And we're moving toward our source of life, the sun.
You just sold Southern California to a lot of people right there.
Don't come here. It's really congested.
So what's this, what is it, Southern Equinox?
The spring equinox.
Spring equinox, okay.
The spring equinox, I think, really is the new year. Like now it's like fresh and new life. Celebrating the new year of our calendar year on January 1st
when
seems insane to me. It's the darkest, coldest, most hibernating inward, like, that is so counterintuitive to me to celebrate. Yeah, fresh new calendar year. Let's all start new habits and kick things off and have these resolutions like in the dead of winter when we're literally supposed to be like curling up and going inward and like gathering our strength so that spring we can like fucking like
blossom,
expand and blossom and start fucking. I mean, that's like why we have eggs and bunnies and all this stuff. It's like all the animals around us start fucking and it's fertility and life and like, so this is my new year, man. I feel like that calendar shit of like forcing us to have these like celebratory or observing certain things that feels so disconnected from the earth. Like the earth right now is saying like, it's a new year. It's like new life. It's fresh. Yeah. Like, I think the more we can, I'm like, yeah, man, fuck New Year's Eve. Like, this is my new year.
This is the new year. I actually love that. I mean, I also didn't feel I feel like it's the worst time because a lot of people aren't in the mood to continue keeping up those goals and stuff. Like, they're just in their sheets and be like, I don't want to get out of bed type of deal. Yeah. And then they get through like 3 weeks of working out. And then they feel like they've failed at something or they've whatever, because it's not the time. Like the earth has rhythms and the earth is producing the type of food in the regions for what the human bodies need in those regions in those seasons. Like stone fruits, come in late summer because those are the nutrients that your body most needs for the amount of light during that time of the year, because
our like hormones and everything are being set by the amount of light exposure. And so like having like root vegetables in the winter of like, these are the only things that would be available to us, are like beets and potatoes and things that are like growing underground. Like that's what we're supposed to be eating during the winter. I mean, I'm talking like this is like ideally because honestly, like I'm mostly just eating like meat and cheese and bread every day all year round.
For sure. I was about to say, because like there's people in Antarctica who are like, none of that grows here, miss.
I know, but maybe because of the amount of light they're getting down there, it makes sense to just be having fish and stuff, you know?
I mean, what did you say? Meat, egg, and cheese?
No, I don't do eggs. I do a lot of like meat, cheese, and bread.
I feel like that's a solid. You're getting your carbs, you're getting your protein. That's fire.
Yeah. I don't know. I've heard different theories that like your blood type sort of determines like how you crave stuff.
For sure. I don't know if that's true, but like there's some studies that say that as well.
Yeah.
I think O craves like red meat, and I could say, yeah, I crave red meat, and I'm blood type O.
I do too. And I wonder if it's even hormonally, because I will crave red meat like at some point in my menstrual cycle. It comes out like,
not ice cream?
I will be like, I want a burger, I want a steak, like at a certain point in my cycle.
That's what's up.
Yeah. And then I will not give a shit about it for the rest of the month.
Oh, just during your menstrual cycle.
I think so.
Okay.
I think so.
That's what's up.
I mean, at least that's what I'm attributing it to.
For these walks,
yeah.
Are you learning a lot about yourself on these walks that are slow, and you're becoming and sensing like a dog?
It's funny because I was in Telluride, and that was really healing because it snowed 20 inches while I was there, and I was like, God damn,
where is that?
Snow is truly the opposite of fire. And I had come from the LA fires to the
Telluride. Where's that?
Telluride is in Colorado, and it's sort of remote, and it's beautiful, and it's mountainous, and it's a big ski town. Ski and boarding.
Do you ski and board?
I ski. I wish I boarded. It looks badass.
Yeah.
But I think you have to spend like a full day or two just falling on your ass constantly the whole time.
Yeah. I snowboarded twice. And the first time I had this welt on my tailbone, like probably 3 inches. I pulled my pants down to show my buddy because I was like, bro, no homo. But my ass hurts so bad. How bad is it? And it was like 4 inches of just black purple like at my tailbone, and it was like protruding out of my ass but for like 2 inches. And I was like, I'll stick to skiing because like I grew up skiing and it's like in my nature, but I was like, I don't want to spend the time to fall on my ass 1,000 more times to get good at this, which is ironic though because like I do skate and I surf a little bit. It's totally different than snowboarding.
Yeah. It's I think skiing is the boots are pretty awful. Walking in ski boots is one of my least favorite things on planet Earth. It is one of the worst feelings. Come on, Nike or any of you bullshit things out there. Like, why can't you make a ski boot that is comfortable?
Yeah.
Come on.
Yeah. Yeah, that's definitely true. Like when you take your ski boots off, you're like, fuck, my feet are fucked.
It's
and the walking it's worse than heels.
It's one of the most elegant.
Actually, I don't know. You could tell me if it's worse than heels.
You've never put on heels?
I put on heels one time when I was 15.
It's pretty painful, isn't it?
It's extremely painful.
Yeah. It's kind of bullshit.
Can you rock them?
Yeah, there's something I really like actually about being taller. I really want to be tall.
You want to be
wish
massive.
I was tall.
You say
massive.
you have. I feel like if you were physically massive as well as like your massive personality, you might dominate the entire world.
I know.
I feel like God was like, bruh, like you don't deserve to have both.
I know. I might have picked a small female body to like learn some kind of lesson because I do feel like the force of who I am is different than like what my body looks like.
The force of who you are is different from what your body looks like. Yes.
Yeah.
I definitely agree with that.
I
feel like you're moving. You can move people with your words and physically with your words. Like if you had a physical body that was that massive, like it would be unfair to most of humans.
That's might be the nicest thing anyone's ever said to me, Nate. I really have to absorb that. Thank you. That made me feel so good. And
You're welcome.
I think I've been doing some thinking about this recently of like, do I use humor? Did I pursue comedy as a way to sort of power up or defend myself or to be in spaces where if I feel maybe like overpowered, again, being in a smaller female body, I notice that stuff. Like if I'm in a group of men and they're kind of doing that like macho kind of vibe or whatever, I will feel myself do this like power up thing where I will be like, I will destroy you with humor.
Yeah.
Like I will run this goddamn table by just being funnier than everyone. And I've been thinking about that energetically because I'm like, man, laughter is such nourishment and it's such natural medicine for healing. Like I want to use it for good. And I'm trying to notice those ways in which I'm like, oh, okay. So why do I feel threatened like in a space like that? And why do I feel like I have to like power up and not let anyone, like why can't I sit and observe and be quiet? I was walking down, I was in Hollywood with a friend of mine. My friend and I went to Jumbo's the other night. Have you ever been?
I was there last week.
What if we had seen each other there?
I would have lost my shit if I saw Holly at Jumbo's. You were clapping those heels? You were watching some heels clap?
It's funny. I'd never been, and I like.
You never been to Jumbo's?
No.
That was the first time.
Yeah.
It's a vibe. It's a good time.
It's really cool. My friend my friend who took me, she was like, I really want to go. I think it'll be fun. I've been a couple times before. I think you'll like it. And she was like, because this is it's not nude. They're
not
like
nude.
completely. It's basically like bikinis, right?
I mean, like smaller bikinis.
I mean, like thong bikinis.
Oh, bikinis.
Yeah. But
cheeks are out.
Yeah, cheeks are out. But are they? I mean, that's the thing about like maintaining that body size and standard for that style of,
Some of those chicks they got like muscle. They got like a muscle booty. Some of them got like a famine booty.
I love a bubble butt.
Yeah.
I love a bubble butt.
I really appreciate being in the fitness space when I see, I guess, a muscle bubble butt. Like you worked hard for that. You did a lot of squats for that ass.
A muscle bubble butt is really exquisite. And there was one
exquisite.
girl the other night at Jumbo's who was so strong. She could almost be a like sideways flag on that pole just with her arms. And I was
100%.
like, excuse me.
A lot of them have chicken lats for sure.
So 100%.
You see the lats when they're upside down. You're like, whoa, what is that?
This girl the other night did splits on the ceiling and just hung out there, like doing splits on the ceiling and just being like, I'm hanging out here.
Yeah.
It's so impressive. These are athletes. Like they're empowered. They're showing up with like I'm sure like picked the song, like designed their set.
Choreo, yeah.
They're doing the thing, and I think it's beautiful to appreciate what they're bringing and what they're doing and how beautiful it is and everything. And then for me, I got really bummed out in between their sets when the music stops. The room is totally quiet, no music's playing, and they're now down on their knees on the floor pushing a pile of dollar bills on the floor in silence. I'm like, yo, Jumbo's, I have some notes. I like need to direct this. Okay, first of all, in tennis when they have the ball boy,
no, I see that.
We need a bill boy, motherfucker.
boy.
She needs to go out on her high note and disappear behind that curtain, and then someone else needs to come get these. I mean, these girls are pushing it along the floor in a little pile and then pushing it out the door over the like steps and then like jumping behind the curtain. And that to me destroyed me. I was like, I can't. And then I'm picturing them behind the curtain, like picking up each one a big thing and like having to put them together. I'm like, yo, bring her stack all organized and put it in her hand. Do not make her pick that shit up off the floor. I got notes.
We were just talking about this like a month ago. That's so funny that you brought that up.
Who? You and who?
My competent podcast manager, the lesbian who's hot and has guns.
Hey, testosterone is a female hormone too, man.
Yeah, for sure.
For sure.
I didn't say it wasn't. But why did you bring up Jumbo's?
Why did I bring up Jumbo's?
We were talking about
roll the tape back, man. Why did we bring up Jumbo's?
You were questioning why you get this energy around certain circumstances.
Oh yeah. Okay. So I was leaving Jumbo's. Oh yeah. Nice one, Nate. Okay. So I was leaving Jumbo's, and do we need to tell the listening audience what Jumbo's is?
Yeah, explain what Jumbo's is.
That's gonna make you do it.
Okay, Jumbo's, from what I understand, is this small bar that It's kind of in the middle of nowhere. It's in Thai Town. And imagine a strip club, but one pole, and they're clothed women, not completely naked women. And there's just a small bar, and they do a little dance, and it's some exquisite, as Holly would say, pole dancing at like a professional level, and all these ladies are jacked and are super talented. And what she was describing was how beautiful it is, and then how fucked up it is that they gotta crawl around, because at other places they usually have a sweep, like that they'll sweep the dollars and just push them out, and then that's it.
Yeah,
at least that's more classy than like crawling on your legs and
man.
Yeah.
And or maybe they could make like a little, oh no, I don't want to replace humans with automation, but you could make a little like a little sweeper that comes along like when you go bowling and it picks up the pins.
Sure.
Like, do that with the money.
Yeah.
No, we want humans. We don't want to replace humans with machines.
I mean, it's already happening, but.
Oh, I know. We're heading towards the human versus machine wars. But anyway, I don't know why I was talking about Telluride, but yeah, I think snow helped heal me from the fires, because I did get pretty fucked up by the fires. There was something when
Let's go to the masculine part real quick.
Oh yeah, sorry, we were missing the because
Jumbos. And
oh yeah, duh. Oh my God, I've left it twice. Okay.
No, you're good.
So we were leaving Jumbo's, and I reached into my bag, and as we were walking through the neighborhood,
yeah,
I reached into my bag and I pulled out my Kubotan.
Kubotan, what's that?
It's sort of like the size and weight of like a highlighter.
Okay.
If you and you hold it in your hand, but there's a point on the end of it. And it's a little weapon that, like, because most females are grabbed from behind if they're attacked in public. And so a lot of times, like, I used to carry mace. I was like, I'm a little poison spraying insect. Don't fuck with me.
Yeah.
But, like, a lot of times mace is ineffective, especially if someone comes from behind. So if I'm walking with it in my hand and the point is facing backwards in my fist, then if someone does grab me from behind or grab my hair or anything, I just jack backwards. And this Kubotan, when it hits a femur, can shatter a femur bone.
Oh shit!
And then it also has two spikes that come out between my.
So why did you feel like you had to pull it out?
I know. And as I was walking with my girlfriend, I was like, hey, I said to her, I was like, I just feel like I need to tell you I have a weapon in my hand. I just want you to know that I have this Kubotan in my hand. She was like, oh, let me see it. Let me look at it or whatever. I showed her what it was. And then as we were walking, I was telling her that. I was like, I just carry it in my hand because, most attacks of females come from behind. And it's just, to give myself a like fucking fighting chance, like with someone who could overpower me or whatever. And she was like, yeah, I get it. It's totally cool. I'm comfortable with it. No problem. And then as we were walking, I was like, but do you think, and I've been thinking about this with my Kubotan, I'm like, I wonder if by having a weapon, I've changed my vibration as a being. And I could be now vibrating something that could like draw in an attack. I'm like, do you think that's possible? Like, a friend of mine, Sarah, and I always laugh because I'm the type of person who, if I'm like walking down a dark alleyway and I see a figure moving toward me, like someone who's larger than me moving toward me, I always will like slip my car keys between my fingers and just be sort of braced, in case like he moves wrong or weird or whatever.
Do you kind of want it to happen?
No, I like really don't.
Okay.
I really don't. Unless I could kick his ass, and then I would be. But I don't even think I.
That's what I'm saying. Like, I feel like if God gave you that ability, you would just be trying to fuck people up.
But I don't know if I could strike someone. I truly don't. I don't know if I could strike someone.
So have you ever used your Kubotan?
Never. Kubotan? Never. I've never used mace. I've never had to use anything. And my friend Sarah and I are laughing because she and I describe our personalities as, I see a strange figure coming in a dark alley toward me. I slip my keys between my teeth. She sees a figure moving toward her in a dark alley, and she goes, oh, thank God someone else is here. If he wasn't here, I'd be totally alone. And like, that's her vibration.
No, I feel
and I'm
that.
like, oh yeah, I wonder if I need to be moving around like, I'm okay. I'm going to be okay. I'm going to be fine.
Yeah.
Everything's fine. I don't know. And then
I'm on edge like that when I walk around LA now.
Yeah.
For sure.
There is a vibration here that doesn't feel safe.
Yeah, like when someone's walking down the same path that I'm in, I got a fist loaded up,
right,
ready,
right,
yeah.
Yeah.
But I just think that's natural human instinct. That's like Yeah, that's just natural.
Or it's been programmed into us. We've been told,
yeah. But this is what your thought you were saying is the comedy part. Why do I have to always try to out funny this person or try to make it so funny that I'm the loudest or biggest person in the room? That's what you were saying earlier.
Yeah, I've been thinking about that because I want to kind of maybe I think maybe I want to use it differently. I want to share it. If it's a gift that I have, then I think gifts are better when they're shared. I think when you don't share your gift, it becomes a burden.
I feel like you already shared, don't you?
I do. Yeah, I do. But I just want to be more mindful about how I use it.
How you give it away.
Yeah.
Yeah. What are the characteristics of a funny person?
I think at its essence, it's surprise.
Surprise. Mm-hmm. In the sense that no one's expected it.
I think that's usually what creates the convulsing of your muscles of a laugh. Like, like it's actually, and that's part of why I love comedy is because it's a thing that I can kind of conjure out of nothing, but it has a physical reaction inside your body. Like your mouth opens and you show me your teeth, your muscles start to convulse, and it's sort of like a real true like belly laugh is like involuntary. So it's like in that moment, like I am like moving your actual body, and that feels so powerful to me.
Superpower.
Yeah, I love it.
The way that you've done that through I forgot which one. What was the one, the no names?
What?
Nameless.
Oh, one of the essays that I've written?
Yeah.
I shall remain nameless.
I shall remain nameless. And when I was listening to it today, I was like, I've never thought about that perspective, that all women are named by men regardless of your current last name. If you chose to keep your maiden last name, it's still a man's name. It's your dad's last name. Right? And then I was like... That's crazy. Like the perspective of that was like, can you explain it a little bit better than I just did right now?
Yeah. I mean, it all started for me when I got married and everyone started asking me, are you going to change your name? Are you going to change your name? And it always really bothered me. And I couldn't figure out why. It was at the bottom of why it bothered me. And I really was like, no, I really don't want to change my name. That just doesn't feel like it's in alignment with who I am. And, my partner's mom came to me and she was like, are you planning on taking Greg's name? And I was like, I'm not sure. I'm thinking about it. And she was like, well, I took my husband's name because I love him that much. And I was like, oh, okay, great. So I went straight to Greg and I was like, hey, Greg, I want you to know that I am totally cool if you want to take my name. I think that would be really cool. And he was like, no thanks. Didn't even really need to think about it. And I was like, oh, okay, I guess I'm not going to take that personally as to a sign of how much you love me. And I still offer him that. We've been married for 15 years now, I think. Right around
Really?
there.
Wow, that's what's up.
We got married in 2009, so whatever that is. But yeah, but I realized like even by it, I was like, why would I become named after this man that I'm fucking? Like, why would I be named after him? And then mail started arriving at my house after I got married that was addressed to Mrs. Greg Hess. I was like, what the fuck? I don't even have a first name here because I do not answer to the name Greg Hess, motherfuckers. And then when I started thinking about it,
not
I was
because
like,
you don't love your man.
No, I like really, really love him. And he is still more than welcome to take my name at any time. But I finally am
You're
realizing...
trying to be the first woman to get their husband to take their name, huh?
Well, now I've been seeing more and more women who are naming their children after the female.
Okay.
Which is like, whoa. In my mind, I'm like, yes, of course. You made that thing.
Yeah.
You made that with your body.
Sure.
I mean, the females are like fucking gods.
Yeah.
We can create life.
Yeah.
And like, I certainly, if I spent 9 months doing an incredible masterpiece of a painting, I would not put the name of the I would not put the name on my painting of the person who lent me the brush.
So that's what I'm saying.
I made
The funny part of that is that perspective is so uncommon. Like no one thinks of that unless you really take the time to deconstruct why we just assume that's normal. Does that make sense?
Totally.
Like, it's so funny because no one thinks about it. They're like, what is she talking about?
But that's always how I think of I always am like, what's underneath this rock? Where is that coming from? But what I think you're referencing on that piece of mine that you read, I Shall Remain Nameless, is that ultimately I discovered that it doesn't matter. I'm still named. Even if I keep my name, I'm still named after a man. The day a woman is born, she's named after a man. And the day she gets married, she can choose to change her name from being named after this man to being named after another man. And that, like, females are just these, like, nameless figures moving through history named after men.
Yeah.
And that's, like, really obvious to me. And it's also...
it's obvious because you thought about it for a long period of time. Like, it sounds like you really sat down. Do you have, like, thinking, like, practices?
I try not to.
Like, are these daily walks, like, purposefully, I'm going to dive into this subject about marriages?
And names and identity.
No, I'm serious.
No, I do. I'm trying to learn how to stop thinking and to stop, like, because that is just naturally, I have a very active mind. It's always kind of like, what makes that work? Why is it like that? Why do we do it like that? Like, wanting to know what's underneath it, but what's behind it? What's the legacy? What's the context? How do we know that? Like, my brain is always doing that, and I'm trying to learn to quiet it through.
Well, it's a different level of curiosity that I haven't really experienced before. Yeah.
Oh, man, thanks.
You're welcome.
I love curiosity. I'm trying to be so much more curious about stuff. I'm trying to get curious about aging and all of that stuff. Because
I'm fascinated with a lot of things as well. Like, I'm curious about fitness, podcasting. I'll learn to juggle. Like, during COVID, I read like 50 books, learned the Rubik's Cube, started random shit. Like, curious about a lot of things. Started writing poetry, like, whatever. But I'd never dive, like, I'll get down 2 layers deep and I'll be like, this is good enough. Like, I've dug this deep into this curiosity. I'll move on to the next. Like, when someone dissects like a certain topic, like marriage, and goes down to like last names and masculinity, and then females are just never get to have their own. I was like, whoa, like, what the fuck? You dug like 10 more layers deep than I ever thought I would.
Well, that's why we have each other, because you do things with the physical body that I'm like, oh yeah, that makes so much sense. That's the perfect way to do that. The other night I told you that my legs were feeling like sort of neglected in terms of like lifting for a few weeks, and you're like, okay, and then you just fucking destroyed me with a series of like 3 leg exercises, and all of them were dope and great. And there are things that I wouldn't
Did you feel it the next day?
Oh yeah, man. I could hardly touch the top of my fucking quad. But that like comes naturally to you. You're like,
Sure.
oh yeah, you can like piece together these different ideas and be like, you're feeling like this and you want to feel like this. Here's a series of like movements where I can get you there.
Yeah.
You're
well, that's just like 10 years.
On a
10
level
years
that's
of it.
deeper than me.
That's just like 10 years of experience. I guess like 10 years of thinking in like a comedy craft or being able to come out, especially improv too, because you come up with these ideas on the spot. That's a different level of intuition, right?
Yeah.
Versus a stand-up comic who gets the time to write it out and plan it out and then perform it on stage and then fuck up and then redo the exact same act and then fuck up again and curate it. Improv, just like, this has to be right the first time.
There's no net. You just jump without a net. Yeah. And I think that's why I love it. And I think that's why I was drawn to it, is because the things that improv is, the principles and sort of like laws or rules of improv as they exist that makes that craft possible as a live performance craft, those exact same principles when applied to your life are, I think, what I needed to learn as a human of how to live and exist in the moment. Because
how so?
Because improv is entirely about being totally present and completely trusting yourself. And those are 2 things that like don't come naturally to me. I naturally live in the future, and I naturally, it's been programmed into me to not to judge myself and second guess and think like, I'm probably wrong, I'm probably not right. But improv requires...
most of humanity, though.
I know.
Like, anxious people live in the future a lot. Depressed people live in the past a lot.
Yeah.
The most happy humans try their best to stay in the present. And so I guess if you define it, happiness or presentness by that, improv just allows you to be in that space more often,
Oh yeah, that's kind of a cool way to look at it.
in my opinion.
Yeah, it's a practice of just being present and trusting yourself enough to be like, I'm going to let it come out verbally, and I'm going to make a connection. Live improv is basically just like making connections. So like connecting what came earlier in the show with what's happening right now, connecting what is happening right now with the suggestion that the audience gave you, connecting with the other performer on stage with you, like having a connection with them and like following what they're doing and like playing off of them and reading all of the information that's coming to you, like visually from them and also verbally from them, and synthesizing all of it to like put something in context and then kind of change it to create commentary on the world we live in. Like coming up in comedy, I really fell in love with satire because I learned that it's one of our most powerful and effective tools for identifying our values and our power structures, and then being able to subvert like our power structures and point people to things that are sitting in plain sight, but that we might not ever question. And it's like, but what happens when you start to question that thing?
Yeah.
Then shit gets really interesting.
Yeah.
And then if you can also do it like in a way that's sort of fast, funny, quick, and clever, and or really like patient and slow.
Fast, funny, quick, and clever. I feel like when you could point out a satire and make it fast, funny, quick, and clever, it depowers or takes this power off its throne and puts it in your hands.
Yeah.
If that makes sense.
Yeah.
Like that's so cool.
Yeah. I think entertainers have always, if you think about it back to like the court jester, had to walk this crazy line with entertaining the king by sort of like making fun of
Them.
but in a way that would not get him killed.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Do you think of yourself as a jester sometimes?
Yeah, sometimes I don't like it when I feel like I'm kind of doing the like where I'm really like performing to try to like prove my value or something.
What does it do for you? Because you said like making people laugh, and you get that belly laugh feeling that you hear in the crowd, and you're like, oh, I did that. Like my words and my actions of how I portrayed myself on this stage or with this mic made these people get that feeling. Like, what does that do for you?
It feels amazing.
How so?
Getting laughs to me is the best feeling on earth. And then along those lines, if you're trying to pull a laugh and you don't get one, it sucks. It like totally degrades your confidence.
It's like getting rejected by your high school sweetheart like 1,000 times.
Totally by everyone in the room, and you're like, fuck. But yeah, so that's, I think, what's inside of that for me is like, don't try to pull laughs. Try to be so present and fucking honest and vulnerable. Vulnerable, obviously, meaning our most accurate measurement of courage. Not that vulnerability is weakness, but it's courage, because it's you making an active bid to reach out to someone knowing that you could fucking fail. But that vulnerability usually pulls a lot better laughs than if you're trying to like write jokes on your feet, which is, I think some improvisers are able to like actually do setups and knockdowns, like classic joke writing on their feet, which is amazing.
What do you mean by setups and knockdowns on their feet?
Just like where you're crafting and delivering jokes, like jokes with setups and punchlines on the spot. You'll see that once in a while, and it gets great laughs. I've learned that like I don't really operate that way. I have to do a much like slower build where it's more like live theater, and I'm like building a point of view of a character and kind of creating that groundwork so that then I can subvert it or twist it and surprise you and get a laugh out of you by like a patient, slow build. They're different, like, because laughs are like waves.
Yeah, and you do that weekly with your guys' podcast.
Yeah.
Like it's so flipping the, I don't know, quote unquote normal powers into your own hands type of deal.
Yeah, I mean, let's hope we're going to be able to keep doing that in this country. I mean, in China, comedians have to like submit their jokes to the morality police and have them approved.
Yeah, I mean, I think that's what makes this country great. Is you have the ability to say whatever the fuck you want to say right now, currently at this moment.
Yeah. So, and you know what? Nate, there's nothing that exists besides this moment.
Yeah, that is true.
And look how great this moment is.
This moment is great. The religious stuff for Mega.
So I have a podcast called Mega. It's
You
an
wanna explain
improvised
it?
satire
Yeah.
from the staff of a fictional megachurch. My dad in real life is a megachurch pastor.
Currently.
So yeah.
Still.
Yeah.
So does he love everything that you do?
No. I don't know if he listens to the podcast because I don't know if he knows how to listen to podcasts, but I
Yeah, my grandparents have a hard time finding how to listen to podcasts. I'm like, oh, you guys haven't figured it out yet?
Yeah.
This technology thing is not real. Like, to them, like a lot of people.
Yeah.
I've been trying to get a friend's grandma on the podcast. She's like 93 and she's a nail tech, but one of the dopest nail techs in Los Angeles.
Yes.
And she does a lot of celebrity nails, but she doesn't use her phone, doesn't know how to use the internet, all this stuff. And she was like, Nate, you're going to have to come over to my grandma's house and like talk to her and explain what it is, because she thinks the internet's evil and it's like Satan created it and all this stuff.
Oh, wow.
But I mean, yes, kind of, but not really. I don't know if she's being serious or not. But she's one of the dopest nail techs, like super dope nails. And she's 93. She still gets after it. And I've been trying to have her on. I was like, okay, I'll have to come over. But
I hope,
Yeah.
talk to her about her experience with depression and anxiety, because I wonder how much of a correlation there is between the internet and our depression and anxiety.
she's happy as fuck.
See? I know. That's really interesting. I mean, because speaking of religion, like I've heard a lot of, media critics and tech writers talking about how, like, in the same way Christian missionaries used to, like, as globalization was happening, like Christian missionaries would go to essentially weaken a community, and then the conquistadors would come in and like conquer.
Okay.
And that essentially that's what is happening with, like, that's what social media is. Like, social media is the Christian missionary that comes in to weaken the community. Everyone's getting isolated, less physical, less outdoors, less in touch with nature and the earth, less in touch with each other. And so it's like weakened our community, and then AI will be the conquistador that comes in and just fucking like decimates it.
See,
so we could be moving towards like humans
see,
versus the machine.
I have never thought of it that way, and that's why I feel like I'm happier. If I had those things go through my head all the time, I'm like, fuck, Holly's over here thinking about this shit at home, water walks while these these orange blossoms are going. I was like, this is the Last Supper over here.
I know, man. It's funny. It sticks out to me a lot that the last comedy show you came to of mine, afterwards we were standing outside and you were like, you go to the dark side, don't you? And I was like, you know I do, motherfucker. But I'm fighting it. And Nate, I'm right now off of all media and social media.
I love that.
And guess what?
You happier?
As fuck. I am so happier. Yeah. I'm able to access my gratitude easier.
Yeah.
My time is my own. Like, it was colonizing my fucking mind.
Yeah.
And like, our attention now is like
the most precious thing.
And I've always wondered, like, why do we say pay attention?
Because you're paying your attention. You're paying it.
So, like,
you're spending your attention on something.
It's a commodity.
Yeah.
It's capital.
It's the most important form of capital.
Yeah.
It's what you decide to put your attention on.
Yeah.
And what does that do? That attention either allows you to grow your skills, grow some motivation, allow you to trade that for money, or trade that for experiences. And if this phone or if this movie or this whatever is stealing your attention, if it's taking it away, you're not spending that time, that attention on the things that bring you more joy, more happiness, whatever.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. And I was hearing a lot of thinkers and teachers after the election being like, it really is time to like call us back into community. The only really healthy way forward may be to reinvest in the personal relationships of the people in your everyday life, to be like connecting on a human level, and to be fostering your joy is like the most active form of resistance. And for months after the election, I was like, that does not compute. I understand what you're saying on an intellectual level. It is not seeping into my bones. Like, I could not find the connection with that idea where I could experience it.
What are you talking about?
the best form of resistance is joy, and reinvest in your community and the people who are right in front of you.
Okay.
I was like, I couldn't do that. And I think it was because I was, social media and things were isolating me to the point where like I would be in the airport or on planes or whatever, and I was really like this, like horse blinders, like don't talk to me, da, da, da. Like not like connecting with other human beings and remembering that like, oh, people are good, and it's our connections with each other that are the thing that makes life worth living.
Yeah.
And something about being off of social media and not having the cortisol dumps in my body from reading headlines of what's happening in our country and in the world in terms of...
I mean, that's for a comic. You kind of have to make fun of those things too. Like for me, I haven't paid attention to the news probably since 2018, 17. And
you're so happy.
I'm happy as fuck. But also, it's true ignorance is bliss type of deal. Like, I should know a little bit because to relate to some topics, know about the country, relate on some subjects. But right now in this current season, I can't change any of those topics that's going on. I can't personally do anything about Israel or Palestine or all that stuff. So I know nothing about it.
Right.
But what I choose to focus my time, my attention on is the people that are around me for clients or for the work that I do, and try to get better at that. And if those get better and I progress in those things, I become happier, or because you get joy out of growth of whatever that is, you know? Yeah. But the backside of my brain too, I'll have some clients be like panicking about a subject about Trump or what's going on in the government. I was like, oh, I don't know. Yeah. And then they're like, you need to pay attention to this stuff. I was like, do I? Like, you seem like angry right now.
I know. And it's hurting your body, and it's hurting your mental health, your physical health.
Yeah.
Like, I know that. I think that is a really fucking tricky tightrope of like being somewhat informed, but also of really being able to still, again, connect with joy and find that joy inside your body. And
sounds like you're doing a good job right now.
Well, you and I are connecting. I mean, right now, us connecting as human beings, looking in each other's eyes and laughing with each other is like creating change.
For sure. Well, one skill set that a lot of people don't have anymore is being able to talk for a long period of time with each other. Like the amount of dinners that you'll go to with someone who you're not too close with, and you don't know what to talk about after 10 minutes is like a decent amount. Yeah. Like a lot of people don't know how to communicate like in person anymore and just talk.
Yeah.
It's hard.
Yeah.
And like it's a dance, you know, like, and you're good at it because that's what improv is. You have to dance back and forth.
Yeah.
For me, the amount of podcasts that I had, I'm like, fuck, what do I talk about now? And then like learning that just from topic to topic, like how do I transition? How do I stay on topic and finish that line of thought and then move on, you know?
Yeah.
It's a
think
skill.
You're great at it.
Oh, thank you so much.
It is a skill.
It is a skill.
Listening is a skill.
Listening is a really good skill because you could listen to someone for like 20 seconds and then they're like, what are you talking about? What's going on?
I know. And I think I always tell my comedy students that like listening is the secret of improv. And nobody believes me. I tell them on day one, week one, I'm like, I'll tell you the secret of improv right now and you won't believe me. But maybe if you keep doing this for 10 or 20 years, you'll be like, oh yeah, it is. But like listening is the secret of improv. Because like we say the baseline, the bottom line standard of what makes improv possible is the idea of yes and. I'm in agreement with whatever you say. If you say you're the president, I'm like, hell yeah, Mr. President. And then I add my and you know, and you're doing the Situation Room, sir. And then now we are building something together one line at a time. But yes and isn't the baseline because you cannot agree to something you did not fucking hear.
Yeah.
And I think a lot of us, myself very much included, we mistake waiting our turn to talk for listening. And I think a lot of times, like how many times have you found yourself in a conversation where you're sort of like looking at their mouth as they're talking and you're like nodding and you're
waiting
like,
to talk.
And your brain will go like 100 miles away and you'll be thinking about something. You'll be like thinking about what you're going to cook tonight for dinner. You'll be thinking about that thing she said to you at the wedding reception or whatever. And then you kind of come back into the moment and you're like, what have I been saying yes to and agreeing to or whatever? I do that shit all the time as a neurodivergent person. I'll just be like, my brain will go and come back and be like, where am I? I'll dissociate from my body really easily and come back and be like, whoa, I was in the attic. Like there are times where Greg will be hugging me And I'll be like, whoa. And it'll be like somebody's like, hey, Holly, come down into your body. You're in the middle of an embrace. And I'll come running down from the attic of my mind and be like, whoa, I'm being hugged right now. Wow. I mean, I can like really dissociate from my body, like having grown up in purity culture and like a high control religion and all that stuff. But
I do want to talk about that.
we'll talk about that too. But but I think a lot of times we're waiting our turn to talk and we think that's listening.
I feel like a simple example of that is how many times do you introduce yourself to someone, they say their name
you never hear it.
And you never hear it.
Never.
And then you're like, what did you say?
Right.
What was your name?
Right.
You know?
And it's because usually for me, I'm taking you in. Yeah. I'm looking at you and like, what's your thing? What's your vibe? Who are you? I'm like, I'm coming into contact with your energy field. Sure. And so
let's go energy field.
So what you're saying to me is like the least sticky thing of everything I'm like picking up from you. And then I have to be like, what's your name?
Bro.
I know. But true, active, conscious listening is what I call it. Active, conscious listening is actually a state of willingness to be changed. Like, I'm not holding on to my idea I want to share with you once you stop talking. Mm-hmm. I'm being present with what you're saying as if I'm willing to be changed by what you're saying. And that is when I'm consciously listening. And that's, I think, what makes improv possible. And sometimes I think because of my neurodivergence, a lot of times I feel like I'm looking through like a coffee stirrer straw, like that much is like how much I'm able to like be in like reality with you. And improv sort of like pulls me back out to be like, there's all of this outside of that like little narrow focus of that thing. And I think it's about listening. I think it's about listening because I always will be like, what did you just say? Sure. Will you say that one more time? Or I know I asked you this and you answered me, but what did you say? Like I always have to.
But you just said that you don't have that problem when it comes to improv.
Improv will pull me out of it.
Sure.
Improv is what...
So do you believe that since improv could pull you out of it, that you can be pulled out of that state in your regular day-to-day life as well? Because you've proven to yourself in improv that it is possible?
Yeah, that's what I'm hoping for, to be honest.
Yeah. Also, I think you give it power over yourself. The amount of times that you said neurodivergent on this podcast so far is a lot. It's a good handful. No, I'm just in my opinion. Yeah. but you just proved to me right now that like you just said that is clearly not the case when I do improv. It comes out like I am a different human. I pay attention. I'm present more. Right then and there. So that's still normal life as well.
Yeah. And you're right. I really have been in a season where I'm like, you know what? Fuck all identity like descriptors. Yeah. Fuck it. I'm so fluid day to day that there is no way to define myself in categories, spirituality, sexuality, intellectually, any of those things. Sure. Like I'm like, I don't know, man. I'm a river.
Don't put me in a box,
I'm flowing water. Yeah. I'm so fluid and liquid. And it's that.
Let's go.
You know what they say when you go overboard, when you're whitewater rafting, is they're like, lift your legs and let the water like push you to whatever side. Okay. Because if you're trying to plant your feet in a fucking rushing river, you will get hurt, man. Yeah. And so that's more and more like how I'm trying to live my life is like just lift your legs and fucking flow downstream. Because when you're trying to plant on like, I'm a queer or straight, white, agnostic, atheist, you're still like contributing to these like binaries of stuff. And I'm like, I don't know, man, I'm floating downstream.
I love that. Ironically, though, those categories that you just pointed out make good communities.
Totally.
For example, like Christian community, like, yo, I see Christian people in their churches and stuff. I'm like, yo, you guys are having a blast. Or the queer community, like, they're getting after it. Or the bodybuilding community, they're getting after it. And I was like, okay, cool. Love that for you. But also, like you said, it's a hard dichotomy of it because like you do appreciate the community for what it is and what it gives to that person, right? The community that we have right now at Nomad as well, like super cool. Yeah. But also, don't put me in a box. Like at the same time,
totally.
I'm not just a bodybuilding queer Republican, this and that.
Totally,
you know?
Totally.
Like, I'm much more to that.
I know. I don't know how to describe myself spiritually. And I heard someone I really respect recently say that they're spiritually private. They're like,
Ooh,
the way I
spiritually private.
Yeah, because it's so fluid. I cannot give you a description of what my spirituality is because A, it's fluid, and B, anything I tell you is going to contribute to a binary which I'm not interested in.
Yeah.
Of like, I define myself, like atheism is defining yourself in relation to the thing that you're not. You're an atheist. So theism of like believing in a divine deity is the thing you're defining yourself by not being. Is the biggest part of the word. Is the thing that you're saying you're not. And it's just so in reaction to things. And I'm like, you know what? Maybe my responsibility in the moment is to be myself, not explain myself. And, you know, language, our ability to think is limited by the language that we speak.
Sure.
And so, like, yeah, I guess what Nate and I are saying is we're not checking no boxes, motherfuckers.
One thing that you just pointed out right there is I've been studying Buddhism a little bit. And there's this concept called enlightenment.
Yeah.
Right. And Buddha uses words to describe enlightenment, but also describes that these words aren't even enough to describe enlightenment, if that makes sense, because there's not the words to be able to do so.
Yeah.
And I'm just like, fuck, that'll mess with your brain.
Totally.
You know, like we are the language. There's a lot more than the language that we have to describe certain things.
Yeah.
And that's why I think it's a superpower. If you could learn how to use what we have, these words to describe certain things, then you have this power above a lot of people who don't know how to use it.
Right.
You know? And then there's different languages next, and then you're like, whoa.
Right. Right.
And that's why people say, I can't describe it in Chinese. I can't describe this English word in Chinese or this Chinese word in English because there's no really a similar meaning for it.
Yeah.
I'm like, oh, okay.
Yeah. And even that, like we have in English, we tense our language. We will put it in past, present, and future. We will put it in, we gender it, we tense it, we put it in like all of those things that ultimately are limiting. It's the same thing like what the algorithm's doing with us now. We thought the internet was going to like connect the world and have like all the best ideas, but what it's doing is it's shrinking like based on what it thinks your tastes are. It's just limiting and shrinking your thing.
I never really thought about it that way.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So it's hard now and I have always felt like there is a violence in identifying myself a certain way. I know you have to fill out certain forms at the doctor or whatever of like, you know, male, female, or how much do you weigh? I'm like, I don't know.
Don't care either.
But, it feels, it doesn't feel in alignment with me a lot of times to like check boxes. I'm like, oh, that feels weird. But maybe that's just where I'm at today.
I feel like that's great.
And also, I mean, Buddhism is so interesting to me, and it feels outside of world religions. I know it kind of gets lumped in as a religion, but it's of all of them, because as you know, I'm not a fan of organized religion, mostly because I just don't like conformity and uniformity and, you know, purity culture of any kind.
Can you describe evangelicalism?
Evangelicalism?
Yeah. Evangelicalism?
So I would say basically to...
Because you grew up evangelicalist, right? Is that right?
Yeah.
Evangelical.
Yeah. And so it's a high control religion, meaning, you know, it really wants to dictate what you wear, who you communicate with, what music you listen to, how you move through the world. Like it's a high control religion. But evangelicalism is basically you want to evangelize. You are trying to get more people into it, you know? It's a colonizing mindset. It's...
So I want to describe this experience too. I broke up with an ex-girlfriend because of one of this experience, and it had to do with like religion, and it was in Los Angeles as well. So at the time, my girlfriend at the time wanted me to go to church with her. I'm like, sick, cool, I'll support you, whatever. But we went to this church, and it was in a park, and there was this group surrounding this one lady who self-proclaimed her as an apostle. Okay. And I was like, okay, this is weird. Like I went to a Catholic church before. So like seeing a church in a park was kind of weird. I was like, oh, sick. This is new. Yeah. And people are like singing, doing chants, and they're in a big circle. And then they're singing, and then all of a sudden like someone would pass out.
Oh yeah.
And I'll be like, I've never seen this before, like pass out. And then they'll put a blanket over the person. I'm like, is this person dead? Like, what just happened?
Is that a white sheet?
No, it
Can
was.
it be carried away?
I was like, what just happened? And then like a few moments later, the person would come from under the sheet and like throw up. And then,
Whoa.
And then like start chanting again, right? And then I was like, okay, that was weird. But then 3 more other people passed out. And then more sheets were covered. And then, okay. So then after all that, I was just like, okay, this is getting really weird. Like, what just happened?
Sure.
And then I come from a fitness background. I've never explained this story on the podcast, but I feel like you're the perfect person to talk to about this. And then,
I'm with you.
Then she goes into her sermon and she puts her hand over this guy in a wheelchair and goes like, if you deliver yourself to the Lord Jesus Christ, you'll be able to walk again. I'm like, I'm not sure if that's how that works. And then she puts her hand over this guy who has diabetes. He describes, he's like, I got diabetes, this and that, blah, blah, blah. She was like, it puts her hand over your head and you're like, if you deliver yourself to the Lord Jesus Christ, your diabetes will go away. I'm like, or you could work out and like eat better, bro. Like, like I'm over here. And then I look over, my ex-girlfriend's just like into it. Like into it. I'm like, what the fuck is going on? So what is that type of religion? I feel like that sounds, I don't know. I don't know if that's evangelical.
Yeah, and it's also probably, to get some identity descriptors on here, it would also be considered probably Pentecostal, charismatic.
Okay.
That's very like spirit led, like a lot of those things like speaking in tongues, being slain in the spirit.
Yeah.
These are like where it honestly, it's like magic with a K, where like thought and things that, thoughts like affect the material world. So
Sure.
like they can be like, the pastor touches you and you fall over.
Yeah.
Yeah, the thing that I always go to whenever there's especially like a healing thing like you're describing, where it's like you should be able to get out of this wheelchair and walk if you have enough faith. You should be able to like cure your own type 2 diabetes if you just believe enough in God or whatever. I want to see that same pastor say that to an amputee. Why do we not pray for amputees? We pray for people who have cancer.
Yeah.
We pray for people who have diabetes. We pray for people who have pneumonia. All these things that can be treated. We never pray for someone who has lost a leg.
Like grow your leg back, bro.
I thought God can do anything.
Yeah.
Can God do anything? Why are we not praying for amputees? Like that's for me where it just stops. I'm like, it's not there. It has to be this thing that's happening where I don't know if you watched my short film that I made, but I wrote and directed a 10-minute short film
Satan.
called Brought to You by Satan. Yeah. And that's
I did my homework.
That's basically what that's about.
Yeah.
Is like, do we see what we believe or do we believe what we see? And I don't know like if that becomes an Ouroboros, like a snake eating its tail. Because I know that my father sees things because he believes them to be true.
No, 100%. Like, for example, that ex-girlfriend too was like, I know she truly believes this full-heartedly.
Was that a tough breakup?
Super.
Yeah.
It's crazy.
Yeah, that's a very specific community she's trying to bring you into.
No, I know.
That's a lot. That's
And
a tough one.
it's a battle with a lot of people who there's this one quote. We question all our beliefs except the ones that we truly believe and those we never think to question.
Right. Yeah.
And when people are so 100% believing in something, if that is science, if that is a certain religion or whatever, you can't think about anything else, And I feel like for people who are creative or people who are open-minded or have traveled a lot and seen the world, they question everything, mostly.
Yeah.
And for me, my only true belief is that I don't know. Like I only believe what I've seen and tangibly in front of me. And that's like, from what I've studied in Buddhism right now in the last few weeks, it's a lot of like what's in front of you. And I'm like, oh, I could relate to that.
Yeah.
So.
Ooh, you're in a materialist phase. Again, I shouldn't be putting an identity marker on.
I don't even know what that means.
Materialism meaning like only believing in the things that can be like observed and proven in the like physical world. And that's what all our science is basically based on right now.
Sure.
Is it observable, provable, repeatable?
Yeah.
Those things. But I just feel like I keep sensing that there's so much
more
that we just don't have. Think about it. We basically see a spectrum that comes from 3 colors.
Sure.
You and I've talked about. We we're told that we have 5 senses, but we have 18 or 21 senses. We have all these different senses. We have
Like what?
We have the sense of acceleration and deceleration. That's a sense. We have the sense of like even.
Isn't that just a feeling though? Isn't that just like a?
No, I think it's considered in the same thing, like the sense of sight, sense, taste, smell, touch. There's also one. It's called. I can never remember the name, but it's also
proprioception.
Yeah, proprioception, where you can.
I felt like I just read your mind there.
How did you do that?
Don't know.
So that's group mind. That's improv, baby. Like if I have my hands behind my back and I'm doing something with my hands, it's proprioception is that like I have a sense of what parts of my body are doing even when I can't see them.
Yeah.
So we have like 18 or 20 senses, but like that's all we have developed as a species based on basically eating, fighting, and fucking. Like we have developed these amount of senses for what we need to be able to like get food and fuck.
Yeah.
But there's so many like insects and animals are leaving each other like notes and maps and all of these things for each other in plain sight of us, and we can't see them because they're beyond violet. But like a butterfly sees like 10,000 more like spectrum, like colors inside of the spectrum. We only see up until violet. And
do you study like butterflies to do comedy bits? Because that's wild.
Isn't that interesting?
That's
like,
crazy.
Basically, like if you just look at the animal kingdom and insect kingdom, you see that like the German word for it is Umwelt.
Umwelt.
And it's basically the environment that you experience based on the limitations of your perceptions. So you experience the world as a blue sky and a green tree and you're experiencing your Umwelt is based on how you experience the world according to like where your perception stops.
Yeah.
But how arrogant and ignorant to think that there is nothing beyond what my perception is able to pick up on.
Sure. But that is your experience through this lifetime. For like, you're born, you see a ton of light, sounds, colors, and feelings, and then you're gone. And how you interpret that is your life.
Yeah. That's such a cool way to say it.
Right?
Yeah, I think so. I think that's why I'm here. I'm here to have a human experience.
Oh, I want to know your MDMA experience. Like, what did you experience on that?
Yeah, when I did a very, very high dose of MDMA for
Can you explain what MDMA is to people who don't know?
It's basically called the drug of self-compassion, and it's a drug. It's a chemical that goes to the storehouse in your brain where you hold a lot of your serotonin, and it sort of like squeezes your serotonin sponge out and fills your body with your own feel-good chemicals. And I love it I love it because I grew up with such a critical voice in my head, and I'm so hard on myself, and it's so easy for me to access self-loathing, criticism, all these things, assuming I'm wrong. Like
just regular Christianity, or what was it?
Yeah, it was pretty strict, like Bible, like a literal interpretation of the Bible. And so when I'm on MDMA, I am able to access this part of me that is like, oh, wow. I like almost have a feeling of like having a crush on myself. And I've never felt that. I've hated myself before. That's so easy of a thing to access. But like, whoa, what does it feel like to be like, oh, wow. Oh my gosh. Like I can look in the mirror and be horrified at all the imperfections. That's so easy for me to naturally do. But with what the way this chemical interacts with me is that I'm like, oh my gosh, I'm cute. I'm funny. I'm a blast. I'm great. I'm so interested and curious and like wonderful. Like I'm great. I'm the love of my life. Oh my God, I'm here to learn how to love me. Holy shit. Like I was put into a system that programmed me, and I downloaded all these systems of self-loathing, but it's possible to love myself and like myself and be compassionate to myself and all of these things that I would do for a friend at jump, but have a really hard time doing for myself. And so
I need some of that.
That
sounds awesome.
And
having a crush on yourself, bro. Like, what is that?
Right? It's beautiful. And
I've never heard anyone say that.
Right? And once you have that feeling toward yourself, because you know how when you have that with another person, you're like in those early phases where you're just like, oh my God, like if I can be with them in the way that they see me and I see them and it makes me feel so good and all that like thing. When you can have that cycle just with you and it doesn't require someone else who like sees you as like hot and sexy and interesting in the beginning, you know, like if you can give that to you, it's fascinating. But a lot of times like it's the drug, MDMA is the drug that gets mixed with, I think it's like speed, or they mix it with stuff to make like, I think Molly or ecstasy.
No way they mix it with speed. That's wild, do they?
I think so. Like if you do ecstasy, have you ever done ecstasy?
I have not.
Because it's
mushrooms
more
and weed.
Nice, very natural.
Natural.
I like it. Yeah, psilocybin, and I think mushrooms. Are we having a mushroom experience, or are the mushrooms having a human experience by like engaging us? Ooh. But anyway, I think if you do pure MDMA, it doesn't have an upper mixed with it to keep it like a party drug. Like I feel like dancing all night, and I just could touch your arm, the skin on your arm for like an hour, because I'm just like, God, you're so beautiful. Your skin feels amazing. It's just this thing where like, and but MDMA like removes the upper part of it, so you just have, so it's a little bit more melty, but it's really just releasing your own feel good chemicals.
What did that experience do for you? Like it sounds like it enhanced your view of yourself and like more positive thing on your life.
Well, it made me realize that if I'm able to have that feeling with that chemical assistance, then can I access that feeling on my own? And so that's what I'm working on. And yeah, when I did a very, very high dose of it with a guide through the MAPS program for an MDMA-assisted therapeutic journey for PTSD.
PTSD for religious trauma?
Yeah, I got diagnosed with CPTSD, which is complex PTSD from having been raised. I grew up in a violent home where I was, the violence was, I experienced a lot of it. And so that really, I think that also is probably why a part of me is like, I'm gonna be strong. You can't overpower me. I'm big now. You fucking try, you know, like.
I'll hold my, what's it called?
My Kubitan.
Kubitan.
But yeah, I think so because I was raised in an environment where there was always the threat of physical violence just looming. And then that happened to me many times a day at a really like point in my life when it would have been much more helpful to had like adult leadership teaching me how to like regulate my emotions and like understand the world through like safe relationships with adults, but instead I just would be like beaten into submission of like, it was a very authoritarian household of like, I was expected to just comply with complete obedience to established authority, and there was no conversation. And
yeah, it's like the most extreme form of like, do what I tell you to because I said so.
Yeah.
And there's no reason behind it.
Yeah.
You know?
Yeah. And every time my parents would beat me, they would always like preface it by like, I'm only doing this because I love you. And I'm like, yo, what is that supposed to teach a little girl about what love feels like?
Yeah.
You know what I mean? So, yeah.
But I feel like could you imagine like what their parents did to them?
I know.
You know, like my mom used to say some shit with her dad used to cut off cactus heads and make them kneel on it.
Whoa.
And I was like, whoa. I got a spatula. I think that was the grace of God right there.
Yeah. So yeah. Whew. Yeah. Yeah. So you get it. But yeah, so when I did the I don't know, the when I did it for PTSD, it was like it was a lot of like symbolism, and it was a lot of like I kind of went in like deep into my deep dark like chambers of like deepest essence, and I was I think what I realized there is that there is, you know, there's all these little different versions of us, of different ages that we've been that still exist inside of us, you know?
That you identify with too.
Yeah, and sometimes they'll take the wheel.
Yeah.
Like you'll be having an argument with someone, you'll be like, whoa, I think my like fucking inner 12-year-old is at the wheel right now. Like this is not, you know? And so it kind of made me realize that there are these younger versions of myself that still exist, and they really need current grown-up me to come in and be a safe, trustworthy person. And I think I've always been a little bit like, in the same way I was telling you, like, I don't want to use comedy to like power up on people, but I think I've always been a little bit like, even on this MDMA journey, I think I went in a little bit like, all right, I'm down here in the deep, dark essence of my soul. Like, come out, talk to me now. I paid a lot of money for these drugs to do this thing to my body. Like, come out and let's talk about it and let's figure it out. And I felt like this little frightened inner child was like hiding from me because I was like, come on, let's go, man. And, like, and that frightened version of me was like, no, you don't seem chill at all, man. Like, kind of need to come in more like quiet and like, what do you need? And can I offer support? And what does that then look like? The equivalent of going in and gently approaching my inner child and hugging her and letting her know she's safe. The outside world equivalent of what does that look like in terms of how I behave as a person moving through the world? How do I show that little like wounded inner child inside of me? How do I show her that current me is trustworthy? Is by not abandoning myself anymore in moments of people pleasing and moving through the world in a way where I don't immediately self-abandon to stay safe. I say, no.
So I'm going to do the thing to make that kid know that we have grown, and then that I am currently now someone that little girl is proud of.
Yeah.
Kind of.
Yeah, and who can trust.
Yeah, can trust and do the things that they say they could conquer.
Yeah.
Yeah. I love that. How much is MDMA, by the way?
How much does it cost?
Yeah.
It's not that bad.
Asking for a friend.
Just got to go pick up a little street rock. It's not that bad. I don't know. I mean, I think it's like for one dose, I think it would be like $15 or something per dose. You like get a little bit. It's like a street rock.
Oh, really?
Are we allowed to talk about this? Or are they going to start coming after us?
I don't know. I think they're fine. Oh, is it? It's technically illegal.
Yeah. Isn't that wild? That like we as a society, we're like, no. We will police what you put into your body and we will imprison you for even like engaging with psilocybin. If you put this mushroom into your body, we will throw you in prison.
Is
like,
mushroom still illegal right now?
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, they're finding loopholes and stuff. I mean, my podcast has a mushroom sponsorship. I can give you 15% off your next psilocybin doses that like come straight to your door.
What's the code? What's the code?
Discreetly. Code MEGA, MEGA. Okay. My podcast is called Mega.
Yo, there's a lot of people out there who've been asking for mushroom plugs. There you go.
It's called Schedule 35. Look it up online. Schedule and then 35.
Isn't it crazy that you could promote that and then they will still not go over to Schedule 35 and like arrest them?
I know. I think they're in Canada. There's like loopholes. I mean, I thought
loopholes.
California was moving in the direction of psilocybin.
Were you part in your religious community? Were you like? Have you ever heard of the poop hole loophole?
Oh yeah, to save your virginity.
Yeah.
Yeah, definitely.
That was a thing.
Oh, definitely. Christian college campuses everywhere. A lot of
that was wild. Like I have plenty of friends, including myself, that were just like the girls would be like, "Oh yeah, I'm saving our virginity, but you could definitely hit us from the poop hole."
Yeah.
And I'm like, "What? You're wild."
I've never heard it called poop hole loophole, but I like it. I mean, yeah. Talk about like, wait, what are we talking about, folks? This hole remains pure till after a certain date when we've signed a certificate. But this other hole, let's go crazy.
Have you ever talked about that in any religious stuff yet? I might have found your next bit, to be honest.
I'm gonna write it down. Hold on, gotta pull up my notes app on my.
Wait, are you serious right now?
Yeah.
Oh yeah, you do it.
This will be a new storyline for sure.
Oh, on the pod.
Yeah.
Oh wow.
Yeah.
Yeah.
We'll put it in there for you, just for you.
I kind of love that.
Am I able to run to the restroom?
Yeah,
I don't want to stop it.
We're pausing. Hello, friends. I hope you are enjoying the show. I just wanted to chime in and talk to you about Bucked Up. If you need more protein in your diet, creatine to aid your muscle growth as well as recovery, or pre-workout for your demanding sets during your workouts,
Bucked Up has you covered. I use their Snickerdoodle protein and creatine monohydrate every single day. And on days I don't feel like working out, their BAMF nootropic pre-workout keeps me swinging kettlebells, running mountains, moving weight inside and outside the gym. If you'd like to try them out and save some money, use code NateBiltz1 for 20% off any order. And back to the show.
Like all they read is predator or prey. And they're like, are you something to eat or not? And so you have to behave in a way of like, no.
Do you study animals?
You have to be like, I'm an apex predator, motherfucker.
No, I'm really confused because you mentioned in like butterflies and insects and stuff. Like what is the comedy process? Like, what's the homework? For people out there who want to do improv, who want to do comedy, like I feel like a lot of comedians that I meet, they're very intellectual and they know a lot of things about a lot of things.
It's good to be curious about a lot of things so that you have a high reference level. But also it doesn't matter because if you're playing with good people, they'll agree to whatever you say. So like, for instance, like if I'm in a scene that's about like all these NFL stats and that's something I don't know about.
Do you know about NFL stats
No.
now? Okay.
So I'm like, oh, how do you go about that? But then I'm like, oh, I just will... I'll just make up names and statistics. You know what I mean?
And you'll just confidently say it.
Yeah.
So this butterfly stuff, is it true, or is you just are you confidently saying it?
That's a great question.
That makes sense.
Fair enough. Fair enough, my friend. Fair enough. Yeah, no, that's all real. Like that is true. That is true. I got to be careful. Well, how much long do we have left?
45. Is that too late? Or
I just have to be able to. I just got to go easy on it.
oh yeah.
So I can drive up.
Oh, you'll be good.
I'll be good. I'll be good.
We'll stop.
We should have pulled this out a lot sooner. Although maybe I'll become a real dummy.
Oh no, you do a couple and then we'll be good.
Okay.
Yo, the villain essay.
Yeah.
That was deep.
Yeah. That was a tough one for me, man.
I was like, that was a real essay, that letter that you wrote to your dad. If you guys haven't read it yet, go check it out. You want to explain what it is?
It's on my website. My website is hollylaurent.com.
.com.
HOLLYLAURENT. It's spelled like
It's
Laurent,
very
like
very
Yves Saint
relatable.
Laurent.
It's very
Really?
relatable. Yeah.
It's an essay that I wrote about sort of how my parents have a certain news source.
Fox News.
And they're living in that reality. And I, up until recently, because I'm abandoning the whole monster, but I was listening to a different news source and it caused a lot of grief and strife. Honestly, it just started to feel like when I would go home, I just didn't feel safe or welcome there because like it would be like Fox News on the TV and talking about how like liberals are stupid and evil and stuff. And I was like, wait, that's me. Although now I won't even fucking
So
check
like
that box.
I have similar experiences, but I also see both ways. When my dad would say like liberals are dumb and stupid or whatever, be like, yeah, I could see it. Like, and then vice versa too. Like,
Yeah, we're all dumb and stupid.
yeah.
And we're all smart. We're all like sort of street smart. We're all sort of book smart. We're all sort of dumb as fuck.
Yeah.
Yeah. So
Like anytime both sides said shit, and I'm like, yeah, I identify with that.
Yeah.
And like everyone would get all mad because I'm just like, I mean, it's true, isn't it?
It's so true. So this essay I wrote is called Villain because basically I'm just exploring the idea of like, I think that their news source is misinforming them and they're wrong and they think that my news sources didn't, blah, blah, blah. And honestly, who is the villain here? Because like it comes down to that thing. I don't know whose quote this is or if it's many people's quote, but that thing of like, do I want to be right or do I want to be free? And I want to be free. And I think those two things sort of just don't go together. And a lot of times I'll be like walking my dog or whatever, mulling around on these ideas that I know I'm right about or whatever. And
How do you know you're right about it though?
I can tell from what I like in my mind. I'm my brain as a processor is looking for all this information to prove that I'm right about this. And when I realize I'm in that,
Like confirmation bias too, though.
yeah, and when I get into those thinking loops, I'm like, oh, I'm so unhappy right now. Like I want to be free. I want to be free. And so yeah, but when my parents became Trumpers, it was really, really painful for me. And it really fucked up our relationship for a long time. And I think some of that is because his vibe, there's an authoritarian vibe there to like, that really to me smacked of the environment that I came from, that was a violent environment. So I was like taking the political very personally, because it felt like, wait, I've spent my whole life trying to liberate myself from a high control authoritarian religion. And I feel like I've gained some ground in that way. And now with people voting in Trump, it's feeling like we're voting for that kind of authoritarian environment, like in this like macro thing. Like I sort of overcame my micro authoritarianism, and then I find myself in this macro world.
Yeah.
But again, it's the same trail you can be running down every morning, thinking about beautiful things like orange blossoms and hummingbirds. And like, oh, wait, what are the things that expand my mind and invoke my curiosity and all of those things? Or you can be running down that same trail on that beautiful morning being like, I believe this about identity politics and this in the environment, and I need other people to know that we all need to be like this about the environment. And we have to, it's... To me, one is about being right and one is about being free. And that purity culture too, of like, because it's right for me, I want everyone to behave this way. Like that is a real no bueno.
Well, the thing is, it's a losing battle.
Yeah.
Like that's the biggest thing. And that's with everything too. Like, what?
Great point. It's a losing battle.
It's a losing battle. Like, I see it in fitness all the time, or diet. You hear the diet part. You're like, oh, veganism is the best. Carnivore is the best. Oh, wait, paleo? Have you tried paleo? It'll make you lose weight. Like, it's the only way. Like, have you tried vegetarianism? It's the only way. I was like, and then you talk to them, and then back to the quote of, we question all things, except the ones we truly believe in, and those we never think to question.
Exactly.
It's like, you're never going to change this person's mind on their 100% belief on their politics or their or diet or like whatever. Right. And it's a losing battle. So might as well just like let it go.
100%.
So you could be free.
I mean, Nate, I remember the day after the election, I could hardly, I was like, I was crying. I was beside myself. And
like, that's crazy.
I showed up to Nomad and I looked at you and you were smiling from ear to ear and you were like, what's up? I'm so glad you're here. And I looked at your face and I was like, he's genuinely happy. How's he doing that? Like I couldn't even access it because I was in this bubble of thought that was it was just like impending doom, man. And you and I were in the same picture. If someone took a snapshot of us, we were both like in this cool gym with nice like equipment, with lovely people, with these capable bodies growing and getting fucking stronger. That's the picture that you and I were getting massive, motherfuckers. But you and I were in the exact same picture and living in two totally different realities.
100%.
And I am here, and I know everyone is all in a different reality than everyone. If 20 people go to a party, there were 20 different parties
stories.
that
night.
100%. There wasn't one party. We're all living in our own reality. But my God, the one that I want to kind of start curating that I'm living in is the one you're in, dude.
Well, that's kind of funny because like when you're at the gym, I barely paid attention to any of the election. I didn't know what was going on. I didn't know even like who was winning and stuff. Like I was that out of the loop until clients tell me. I get my news source from all my clients who pay attention to the news all the time. And so the fact that you said that, I was just ignorant, but I was happy that day.
Because you know what? Here's the thing. Did you ever see that old movie Red Dawn?
Red Dawn. It sounds familiar.
It's like it's like Patrick Swayze. It's from the 80s.
Okay.
And it's where these high school students are these like fucking rebels. I'm probably messing this up. I don't fucking care. And all of a sudden these like fucking choppers roll into the sky and like dudes are coming down from the choppers and like with machine guns. And there's like this kind of like just martial law, like war breaking out near a high school. And these high school guys are like, yo, we gotta get the fuck out of here. And they resist whatever's happening. Like some wars like is taking over in America and they don't know what's happening. And they've spent the whole movie fucking fighting. I think that's called Red Dawn. I could be messing it up. But what's so funny
Commit to the NFL. Come on now.
But what I love so much is that if a Red Dawn situation starts happening where all of a sudden like people are falling out of choppers and there's like guns on the street and some shit's going down, you're going to hear about it from your clients or whatever, and you're going to run home and you've got your guns. You're already ready. You've got these guns.
Got these guns.
And you've got those guns.
Those guns.
But I have really strong.
You got guns. They're popping out right now.
So strong.
I kind of got riled up. Like Holly's biceps are pumped up.
When I joined Nomad, I told Hunter that my goal was to be able to do a pull-up within a year.
Has it been?
It took me 2 years.
Okay.
But now I can do pull-ups.
Yeah. How does it feel to be strong?
It feels really good. And I, just like my comedy, I want to use it for good. Because, man, sometimes I just want to like fucking get in a fight and beat a man up.
Where do you think that comes from?
Just the like lifelong low grade fear that is instilled in every female body of like men are a threat. You are in danger. They are dangerous.
Yeah.
As a kid, I used to have this one dream. It's very Hulk-ish now that I look back on
Hulk-ish.
it.
Okay.
Hulk, because I used to have this dream where in my dream, I would start punching someone in the face and my fist was like massive and it was so strong. It was like, poof, doosh, doosh, doosh. And I had this like super effective punching arm in my dreams. And I would see it almost like an avatar arm, you know, like in a video game. And I would be so strong.
Yeah.
And that must have been because I felt so
that is you,
overpowered
though.
as a kid.
That is your personality. Like it's gentle like a big fist.
Is it? Thanks, man. That's so nice. You've given me 3 great compliments today.
Always gonna listen to this back just to find those 3 compliments. She was like, I've never heard me described that way.
One was that you said I was curious. One was that you said
I don't remember what they were.
Yeah, I have to go back and listen. But thank you. But yeah, I don't want to. I don't know if I would ever be able to strike someone. I truly don't.
I think you definitely would if you were actually threatened.
I think maybe if I knew it wasn't going to harm them, I could open hand slap someone in the face.
Not if they're trying to kill you. I feel like you would punch them.
No, I mean just like in a party situation.
Oh, okay.
Oh, but if somebody's trying to kill me, yeah, I really wonder what I would do. I mean, I've never been in that situation. I really wonder what I could do. Have you ever been home and like, or have you ever like come home and you didn't know anyone was home and then the person just like walked in and start talking to you and you scream? Have you ever had something like that happen? Sure. So in that moment where you're like, ah, or whatever, you're like, oh, that's what I would really do if this was an intruder.
Which is annoying. Yeah, and you're like, wow, you were such a bitch there. Like, why didn't you like grab something? Like you just hands were actually up.
Yeah, because in my mind, this is what I think about a lot when I'm walking. Yeah. And I'm trying to train my brain to start talking to the trees.
I kind of love your morning your sissy walks.
My dog Sissy. But I sometimes when I'm walking, I will be like having a daydream where I'm like, okay, if somebody attacked me right now on my walk with my dog, you know what I would do? I would just look at them so calmly and I'd be like, oh man, you fucked up. You really fucked up. My name is
Holly Laurent.
My name is Detective Miller with the Los Angeles Police Department. And right now you have the option to turn around and walk away as fast as you fucking can. Or I am about to make your life a living fucking hell.
You pull that? Have you practiced this?
I do it constantly in my mind. I'm like, that's what I would do if I could maintain that calm.
That's so confident.
Like, my God. What is a undercover CIA agent if nothing but an actor with fucking stakes? Where if your acting isn't good, you fucking die. Yeah. And I'm like, so if I'm at all a live performer, I should be able to do this in this moment. If a man or 3 men attack me, I should be like, oh, laugh and be like, you fellas fucked up. You fucked up, and you have 3 seconds to get yourself out of here, or you're about to be in a world of fucking pain. Like, wouldn't that be so cool if I could do that?
That'd be so cool, but also...
What happens if then they don't?
No. It's like, if the fine line between you not holding your shit together for that last 5 seconds, like if they see it, like, oh, she's full of shit.
Right,
Like,
right.
you have to commit.
Right.
The ultimate commitment to that.
Right,
Or
right.
else you're fucked.
This is the animal kingdom. This is when an animal turns its side and raises its hair and shows you how big its whole entire body is. Like, that's what we're doing with each other constantly.
Yeah. It's like whose peacock feathers are the biggest.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. But I mean, but like in real life, I'm like, ah!
I know. And the thing is, the only way to train yourself to do that is to be like, hey, Greg, scare me every time I'm home for the next 185 days. No, I'm serious. Like, that's what it's going to have to take.
That's true.
That's real.
Like, what's that called? It's behavioral exposure therapy.
Yeah, exposure therapy.
Yeah.
Like, you just have to be exposed to it so many enough times. Like, I have a few fighters on the podcast, and one was a world champ Muay Thai fighter. And, like, when he spars and stuff, someone throw a punch, no hesitation. If someone even has a little tiny jab at my face, I'm just like,
Yeah.
he could not flinch. Like, not phased with things coming towards him.
So he just gets kicked in the face?
No, like his proprioception is so good that he
Nice
knows
one.
like it's not gonna hit me, type of deal. So like if right over here, for example,
he knows, like he can do the distance math.
yeah. So like right now, there's no way that I could punch you. But if I threw a jab, like if right here, like if you did that to me, I'd flinch still. But there's no way that you hit me. It's impossible. Like he knows.
Yeah, I like that. He's the ultimate improviser.
With his body and his feet.
Man, that's so great.
Well, it's crazy to see him like hit or do pads or against somebody because he'll snap a kick or hit it like touching the person's face.
That's so cool.
Without hurting them or hitting them.
My friend just got kicked in the face by Gina Davis.
Ow. On purpose?
No, it was a stunt. She was doing her own stunt. He was
Oh.
acting with her in a scene.
That's cool.
And she was supposed to, and she had these fucking boots on and everything, and she was supposed to not
Hit him.
hit him, and
But
he was supposed to not flinch, and she kicked him in the fucking face.
Because he flinched.
On film. No, he didn't flinch at all, but he took a boot to the face. And his wife, my friend, she like got the still from the film
Wow.
and printed it in a picture and
Wow.
framed it for him
That's
for
iconic.
Christmas of just him getting a boot in the face. And you see his nose smashed down from the boot.
Did he like it? The Christmas
I
gift?
wonder if there was, yeah. Oh, I thought you meant, did he kind of like getting kicked in the face by Gina Davis?
I think that's a no. If you say yes to that, no.
I really hate getting hit. I've been punched in the nose before. I hate being hit.
Yeah.
I really don't.
You've been
like
punched in the nose? What did he do?
this lesbian, she thought I was gonna go back, and I thought she was gonna miss, and she just punched me in the nose as a like joke. Of
Does this have anything to do with her being lesbian, or you just unrelated fact?
This lesbian, yeah, it was. Yeah, why did I describe her as a lesbian?
Yeah, I don't know.
I think just put the fear of God in people, because this wasn't some puny little straight girl. This was a full-blown softball playing lesbian.
Okay, all right. I see the picture
And
now.
I took one to the nose.
Ow.
And she was like, "Oh my God, I'm so sorry." But yeah, I don't want to be struck. I've heard guys say that like the amount of time they spend like mentally during the day thinking about punching or being punched by someone is like a lot.
So I've never actually on the street punched someone in the face. Like I've done it in sparring, like when I did karate and stuff, but it's always with like a glove. And I've never been hit, like punched in the face either. And I know a lot of friends, not a lot, but a handful of friends who like grew up with like rough beginnings, and they've been in fights and they've got beaten up like very, very violently. Oh. And the way that they describe it is just so intense. I'm just like, fuck, I kind of want to know what that feels like. But also, I don't at all. Like, I want my brain cells to be where they are now.
Yeah, man. It's loud. Like, have you ever? I hit my head on. I had a cabinet open recently, and when you hit your head, it's loud. It's like donk.
Yeah, and then it's a big bump. And I'm just like, this cabinet didn't do anything to me. Like,
I don't
imagine.
care for it. You know what I want to invent, Nate?
What do you want to invent?
Jiu-jitsu that doesn't ever hurt you, but more serves as a way of being all intertwined with another human body and getting a lot of like human contact and touch, because that's so good for us and our like nervous systems and our like our immune systems and all this stuff. And it's more like they're just kind of stretching you, never gonna like hurt you or slam you. That's what I want, like a peaceful stretching jiu-jitsu.
Isn't that just like sensual sex?
Only if there's penetration. This is non-penetrative, just like body wrestling, where you're also stretching. I keep getting advertised too for that like stretch lab.
Yeah.
Have you done that?
Yeah.
Is it good? I want to do that so bad.
You can do
Someone
it. I mean,
else
it's just
stretching me
someone
is
else stretching you.
Dreamy. Oh, sometimes when they do that in Thai massage, I'm like, yeah, keep going. Do more of that, like leg stretches and shit.
At the end, it's like when they're cranking them.
Yeah.
That feels good. Yeah, stretching by yourself just sucks. I started doing a stretching routine every night before I go to bed because I'm just tight. I do 8 workouts a week right now, so my body's just completely tight. And stretching on your own just sucks. Like, period.
It's so boring, right? There's not going to be any
it just
surprises.
hurts and it's just ignoring.
I know. And it's like, oh, it just makes you feel like a tight rubber band.
Yeah.
And it just comes right back. That's the other thing, is it feels like, isn't the definition of crazy like doing the same activity in hopes of a new outcome?
Sure.
Like, that's, to me, that's stretching, because the next day I'm just as tight. You just have to stretch again.
I don't think people realize the volume it takes to be flexible, or the volume it takes to actually grow a ton of muscle. Because like the stretches that to actually open everything up and stay there is every day 5-minute holds, like for a long period of time. So when people stretch, they're like, oh, 10 seconds here, 30 seconds here. It's like being in a split for 5 minutes, or being a lunge for 5 minutes. Like when I do a 5-minute lunge and then I get out of it, I could barely walk.
Yeah.
Like, have you ever tried like a 5-minute hold?
No. No. I used to do Bikram yoga where it would be like 90-second holds.
Isn't that the cult one where they
that
fuck
guy
everybody?
Sucked. Yeah, he sucked.
Did you meet
bad.
him?
No,
Okay.
thank goodness. But I really liked heated. I like heated yoga because it like, makes you more
awesome.
stretchy.
Yeah,
I
it loosens
like
everything up.
Yeah, I like it. I like it. I like heat.
I've just heard about yin yoga. Yeah, it's long poses, but I didn't know there was a name for it. And there's like, it's a flow, but a lot of long poses. So I'm gonna try that out soon.
I think it's that your body is the yin and the earth is the yang.
Is it yang or yang? Is it yang?
It's both.
Okay.
Yang. Yeah, well, I was trying to really be fancy, being like yang.
No, I could be wrong. Is that right?
Because I just went to a yin yoga class and she was saying yang, so I'm saying yang.
Maybe that's the
I don't know.
The term.
But
the
I normally
Sanskrit
say
term.
yang.
Huh?
I like Sanskrit, man.
What do you like about it?
Well, no, I shouldn't say Sanskrit. I think Sanskrit's pretty cool because it's like a really metaphorical language, but also it just reminds me of like the Sufi poets. And you said earlier that you like poetry and that you write poetry. I fucking love that.
Yeah.
I love poetry. I fucking love poetry. A lot of
Well,
times it's non-rhyming.
what I realized is like, I feel like you just like writing. It does a lot for you. Like the letter, that's what we didn't finish talking about. The villain. I was like, yo, Hollywood deep in this shit. Like, this is dark shit. Like, and it's the Lord of the Ring references. Great.
I'm a nerd. I like Lord of the Rings.
And so I read the Lord of the Rings, I think the first 2 over COVID. I read all the Harry Potter, like all the fiction books that like 15-year-old Nate was supposed to read and didn't get to. So I read like even the 50 Shades of Grey. I read Twilight, like all those things. And what I learned about these unreal stories, these fictional stories, you can learn a lot of life from them. The quotes that you were bringing from Lord of the Rings were like deep. Like the lessons that I learned from Harry Potter about like loss, love, like friendship. I was like, yo,
Totally.
These 10-year-old kids are reading this. Put Harry Potter on everybody. Put Lord of the Rings. Lord of the Rings is a little bit harder because all these make-believe cities and shit that are hard to pronounce.
The songs and the poems, I kind of started to skip them.
Yeah,
but that's all right.
Yeah. Yeah, I was just like, I don't know where I'm at right now. I feel like you have to reread it to
But then
like.
by the time you get to the fucking like passing, when the fellowship is passing through the like dark shadows and they're all just like heads hanging, like weeping as they move forward, as there are like fucking like ghost death faces, like looking up from the puddles beneath their feet, like in the reflection of the water and stuff. Like, and then you get sucked into moments like that where just the writing makes you be like, my God, I am in touch with that emotional depth of abject despair. And I've been brought to it by like looking at a piece of paper, this like tree, like this piece of a tree that I'm looking at, and then symbols have been put on it, and I'm hallucinating wildly while being totally sober. I'm hallucinating this whole world with dwarves and
I'm
elves.
so fucked. I was like, oh, hold up. I was like, what is she talking about with the tree? And I was like, oh, she's talking about paper. It took me 10 seconds you kept talking and I was, what the fuck does that mean? And then I picked it up and I was like, okay, I lost her, but I figured out what the paper meant.
Reading is staring at a tree and hallucinating wildly.
That's a wild perspective.
That's someone else's quote, but I don't know who said that. But yeah, you're
you
essentially.
Just steal it. It's okay.
But yeah, but it has.
I mean, that's the Bible, right?
Yeah. I mean, storytelling is so powerful. Storytelling
Yeah.
is so powerful. And we come from, like, it's part of what has gotten us to where we are now. It's why you're doing a podcast right now.
Yeah.
You're trying to get back in touch with the human part of you that requires storytelling and connecting with another human through stories. Because that's how we would pass the time at night. Our ancestors would gather around the fire and tell stories. And now we watch TV. It's the same thing, like staring into a piece of light at nighttime. But like, we also used to.
That's crazy.
Isn't that crazy? But now we're alone doing it. Like when we're staring into a TV, it's just like looking at light during the night. But the way we used to do that was everyone would gather around the fire for the warmth, for the community. But then also like group singing was like part of our heritage, and our ancestors would sing together collectively. And that was a important part of like mental health and stuff. And then now to market to people, like they've made music individual. So you get alone with music and you put in headphones and we're further isolated. But like our heritage with the way humans engage with music was that we would sing together in groups and it was healing to us. And it's like required. And so now like I get that rush and I get that fucking like touching source when I go to live music shows. Like when I'm experiencing live music, I feel like I get downloads. I feel like I'm like, whew, there's like source here. There's truth here. I feel happy to be alive.
And a lot of people were going away from that from a long period of time. Like back to the DJs and headphones and all this stuff. The talent of it was going away. Like not a lot of people knew how to play like a guitar and a keyboard so properly. And then now, like, that's why country is blowing up. It's like, oh, these people are telling stories through this like guitar around a campfire to a larger audience, you know?
Yeah. Same with poetry. A song is like a poem in that like you tell a full story, but in a real economical way. With music, they put in a chorus because there's something that we like about repetition and then being able to anticipate something familiar. And then we give you something new and then we come back to something familiar. That's an interesting back and forth with music. But with poetry, it's that you're able to take us on an emotional journey in such a short amount of time. And even the way that it appears on the paper is like a little piece of art where like the white space becomes like an image itself.
Your interpretation of like what you're reading.
Yeah.
Yeah. Did you always find creativity as like a beneficial thing? Like, was it always promoted to you? Like, did you gravitate towards there and you were always happy there or was promoted there?
Yeah, I think creativity feels like the fish bowl to me. And when
The
I'm
fish
not,
bowl.
like, sometimes, have you ever seen like when a goldfish jumps out of its bowl and it's flopping around on the countertop?
Sure.
I think a lot of times I feel like a goldfish flopping around on the countertop. That's like sort of what I feel like energetically. And then when I start getting creative, I feel like, oh, someone like picked me up and put me back in water. And now I'm like,
Like, to be able to create for a living is not necessarily just a big risk, but it takes a lot of belief and confidence to get more water. Before we continue this week's conversation, I just wanted to take a quick moment and talk to you about our friends at Mudwater. Their original blend is a coffee alternative made of 100% organic cacao, masala chai, turmeric, lion's mane, reishi, and cordyceps to give you natural energy and focus without the jitters or crash. When I know I'm going to have a long day ahead of me, I mix the Mudwater original blend with some whole milk and a couple drops of honey to elevate my day. In my opinion, it's more flavorful than a chai latte and is better fuel for my body. To elevate your day and get the benefits of coffee without the jitters or crash, click the link below to receive 20% off. And back to the show. It takes a lot of confidence to be able to make a living off just being creative. And at least for me, coming from like an immigrant household or a strict, I don't know, kind of religious household, Catholic household as well, is creativity was not promoted at all. It wasn't, you're going to be an artist or a dancer, or if you ever thought of being a poet, it's like, oh, like that's not a thing. Like no one makes it as that. Like,
right.
You know, like that's not the route that successful people go to, but we are consuming in our cars all these artists through the music that you appreciate. You're romanticizing over like Elvis Presley and the Beatles, like as I'm a kid, and I'm just like, you're telling me one thing, but your actions are showing me another.
Yeah.
And like being around a lot of artists now, including yourself, and you guys are making a full-time living and doing poetry, writing essays, like telling jokes and going to shows with your, like I was like, yo, like it's very admirable from my perspective of someone who was like, oh, this is never possible.
Yeah.
That makes sense.
For sure.
Being taught it was never possible.
Yeah. It's never presented to us as the as it's like you can be a teacher, you can be a nurse, you can be a doctor, you can be an accountant, you can be an engineer.
Yeah.
Like there were no like performing artist, options put before us. And in fact, like we don't even have representation in the government. There's no minister of the arts. There's a minister of agriculture. There's like other vocations are represented in government. We have no representation. It's sort of laughed at. People are like, oh, I'm sorry to hear your son wants to be an actor. Ha ha ha. It's a joke of like, don't let them go into comedy. It's not valued. It's sort of
but the thing is valued.
It's a massive industry. It's one of our biggest exports.
It's not just that. Like it's valued too by those people who devalue it because, like for example,
they consume it constantly.
But they also will be like, oh, I'm going to the opera tonight, or I'm going to see Macbeth at whatever, and you're talking shit about your grandkid who's like taking a drama class in high school.
Yeah.
You know?
Yeah. And if it's being mocked, that's what makes me be like, oh, there must be something interesting inside there that involves liberation.
Was that your experience with it?
I do owe a deep debt of gratitude to comedy and the arts because I do feel like it was the pathway that helped me liberate myself more as a person. And I think that I never allowed myself a plan B because I have the sense that a life in the arts, if you want to take over the island, you've got to burn your boat. You know what I mean? And so if there's still a boat on shore that I can get out of here with, then I don't think this is going to work.
Like I'll end up taking it because the path to conquer the island is way more difficult than you thought.
So you got to get out.
Yeah.
But also I found that like I can go down long paths, even in Hollywood, even in the industry. I can go down these long paths of like, oh, the way to do it is this. I have to start auditioning for stuff. I have to start developing my own TV show. I have to all these things that I have gone down a lot of those paths because I thought like this is what you have to do to turn it into a living. And I spent too long doing stuff that I absolutely hated. I hated getting the email that I had a self-tape. I hated memorizing the lines. I hated filming the self-tape. I hated submitting it. I hated thinking about it afterwards. I hated everything about the entire process. And I'm like, wait, isn't that my body telling me this ain't it? Like, I think I'm much more of a live performer. I like the immediacy of the reciprocity between the audience and the performer in the moment. It feels more alive and zingy to me. And there's not a lot of money in it. But I also got creative because I'm so glad I found podcasting because it sustained me. I lost all of the work that I had spent a decade building up, I lost all of it at the pandemic and had zero income whatsoever. And I started scrambling really hard and already had my podcast going. But I was like, can I monetize this motherfucker? Can I trust that doing the thing I love will take care of me? Can I like believe in myself that much to fucking make this happen? I don't even think, I'm talking now about big shot, like I was conscious of it. I don't think I was that conscious of it. A lot of times I think creativity is a compulsion that you're going to do no matter what. It's just the way you move through the world. And it's what feels the most alive. Even like stand up. I was like, okay, why am I so scared of stand up? Do I need to face that dragon? Like, why has that bested me? And so I like spent a year going to open mics and tormenting myself by like forcing myself to figure out stand up, to be like, why did it scare me so much? And I learned a lot about comedy through doing that. And, I think it made me a better improviser because I realized like the ways I was hiding out in improv and overdeveloping certain muscles and leaving other muscles groups like undeveloped. And I think to become...
Got to work your legs a little bit.
Exactly. And I think by being more interdisciplinary and getting creative about like 10 years ago, I didn't even know what a podcast was. And now I'm a podcaster and I love podcasting.
Yeah,
and I'm so grateful for it. I really like it. I love podcasts. So I love listening to podcasts. I love making podcasts.
The way you do your podcast is kind of cool too, because like you're implementing storytelling of a script that you wrote in a real life satire that you experienced on a platform that is usually meant for regular interviews or something like that. Like you have your own thing.
Yeah, I'm just doing live improv.
Yeah.
I know. And then just putting it out. Because
like today was funny because I was listening to it before you got on the show. And I was just like, I was doing dishes and I was like, that was funny. Like cuffing season. And it was like all these different types of like your satire on cuffing. I'm like, oh my God, cuffing to the cross? Like, excuse me. Like, yo, what the fuck?
This is getting kicky.
I was like, I kind of like it.
No king shame. Yeah, but I think, so that makes me wonder, like, what's the next thing that I don't even know what it is right now? But if I stay open-handed and be like, what else? What is there? What's the thing I haven't thought of? Because auditioning for commercials, for me, ain't it.
Like, you don't want to do that.
Yeah, so, like, I'm going to stop doing that because I hate every aspect of it. And I'm going to be like, okay, because the more I'm doing the thing that my body is giving me a clear no on, the less time I have for discovering what's the thing that, like, what podcasting is for me now. That 10 years from now, I'll be like, and now I'm doing this thing. Like, I think, again, it's... God, I think it's that lift your legs and float downstream thing again of like, don't firmly plant on anything and be like, this is the thing I have to do. I'm in Hollywood. I have to do the entertainment industry this way, the way people have told me to. It is not serving me to do it the way people told me to. And I know that because I don't like it. And I think my desires are the fucking map. It's the road map to curating the life where I'm like, oh, I fucking love this life.
Yeah.
I'm not doing shit I don't want to do anymore.
Yeah, period.
Yeah.
Like, life's too short.
Yeah.
You like only do things like my definition of success when, I don't know, you get an interview, it's like, what's your definition of success? And I really thought about that for a long period of time because also I had a lot of quote unquote successful people on the podcast, but also what's your definition of it? If it's monetary, it's different of like than peace of mind or like whatever. So I was like, for me, it's doing what I want to do when I want to do it with the people who I want to do it with.
Hell yeah.
And like, period. Like that's it.
Hell
like,
yeah.
And like a lot of people were talking about their work. I'm in my first adult life, I'm experiencing the cyclical cycle of the week. Monday, people hate.
Yep.
And then they go through it and then they enjoy the Fridays and stuff. I have been working, like treating every single day the same day because I was in bartending culture. So like Fridays, like it's just a regular work day. Saturday's a regular work day. Sunday's a regular work day. And then like I'm training clients Monday through whatever. And I just never experienced that like the wave of each week. And I'm just like, oh, people live like this?
Yeah.
I'm like, I don't know if I like it.
Right.
Like I just treat every day the same day.
Right.
You know?
We're all in cages that aren't locked. And like that's okay, so think about Christmas Day.
Okay.
Christmas you like feel is different. It's like, oh, Christmas Day feels different.
But not
it's
anymore
not.
for me.
It's a
Yeah,
Tuesday.
it's just another
Exactly.
fucking day.
It's like that is how our thoughts are creating reality. There is no difference between Sunday and Monday, but they feel so different to me.
Yeah.
They feel so different. It's to the hummingbirds and shit. It's the same thing. It's like the degrees and the wind and the that's what's, kind of like creating their reality. Oh, actually, I shouldn't speak for them because I don't know their umvelts.
But it seemed that's hilarious. I'm gonna start saying umvelts.
But yeah,
It's how they experience the world.
But I think becoming aware of your thoughts is where I am in the process of this because I'm trying to get to where you are, where I feel like you've kind of curated the life of your mind and how you want to live because we are experiencing reality as a projection.
Yeah.
We are projecting our mood, our beliefs about what's happening onto every room we walk into, you know? Like I could walk into a room and be like, those two people over there look like they're fighting. This girl doesn't want to be here. As an empathic person, I a lot of times will do that. Parties are overwhelming for me because I'm like feeling
like
everyone's
crowds.
feelings. Yeah, and then you and I go to this party together and you pull me out of the room and like, what did you see? And I'll be like, two people were fighting and one person didn't want to be there. And you would be like, oh man, everyone was like really attractive and having a great time and smiling and the drinks were good.
Yeah.
And it's like, again, we're back to 20 different parties for 20 different people.
I just experienced that. So I think my birthday was 2 weeks ago.
Happy birthday.
Thank you.
Or whatever birthday you want to have. Relaxed birthday. I shouldn't demand that it's happy.
Oh yeah, it was solid. It was a good happy birthday.
Solid birthday.
Solid happy birthday. I invited people to a park. We did a hike first, and then we did like a barbecue and like snacks and shit. It was cool, and there was a lot of people that showed up. And the entire time, I was just trying to I was like, is everyone okay? I was cooking and I was like stressed out. I was like, fuck it. It didn't turn out that good. And then everyone the whole week was like, dude, that was a blast. Like everyone had a good time. I was like, oh, fuck, dope. Glad. Thank you. Like I needed to hear that because my perception of it was like, fuck, like that did not go well.
Yeah. Yeah. You were judging it. You were thinking about it. You were,
Yeah.
It's
It's human nature.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Definitely. But
what's your advice to I guess early creatives like starting up in the industry? Like if you had to give the lessons so they don't need to experience the scar, what would those lessons be?
Do stuff that you love. Do stuff that makes you come alive. Because what I think the moment needs right now is people who are fully alive. So what makes you come alive? And if you can start to identify the things that don't bring more life and like expansion and like curiosity and like that feeling of expanding and breathing, like if it's not bringing that zing, fucking put it down. That's not the tool that works for you. What, like I always tell my comedy students, like, I can give you a bunch of like, try this in a scene, try this. Like, for instance, match your scene partner's energy. No matter what it is, match their energy. So if Nate comes into this scene and he's like, whoa, yeah, I think I might have been overserved you guys. And he's like hammered and his eyelids are at half mast or whatever. Like, I'm like, oh, cool, we're hammered in this scene, man. I'm like, well, I feel like that's the bartender's fault and not on us, man. Let's go see if we can make out with strangers. And like, now we have a scene on our hands where we're 2 hammered dickheads at a bar and we're in a good mood. And so now we're in a state of discovery together where we can go one line at a time and it's really not hard and it's not joke writing. Or I can do a thing where like you start the scene and you're like, yo, man, I might have been overserved. And I could be like, oh, he's drunk. Okay, what do I do? Okay, so if he's drunk, then I have to be sober. And so I'm just, hey, Justin, why'd you drink too much, man? Do you have a drinking problem? And like, did you feel now yourself deflate where you're like, oh wait, now I don't know what to do. Yeah. So I'm in trouble for being drunk and this person's mad and we're like, whatever. Whereas like, if I match your energy, that's a great yes. And then by now putting us into a state of adventure together where we're going to go try to make out with strangers, like now we have like a map. So we're actually not out there without a net. But so I can be like, hey, something that really serves me when I improvise is that if I look at my scene partner at the top of a scene and they are bringing a certain idea, they seem like they're very like snotty and highbrow, then I'll be like, ooh, that sounds fun. I'm going to do that too.
That was like 5 different people right there. That was wild.
But like so I'm like, that's something that serves me. If that is a tool that serves you and makes improv easier and more fun for you, then keep doing that and see what it yields.
Yeah.
If it doesn't serve you, like it just you try to match energy and then you just feel like you're mimicking and it's not helping you be in a state of discovery, then okay, that's definitely not your tool. So I think the more, again, it's just like let your desires be the roadmap of your life. There is no path until you walk it. So like, how do you know which way to go?
There is
like
no path until you walk it. I love that.
Yeah. So make your path by following things that you love and dropping people who don't make you feel good about yourself and dropping people who are just too much work.
Yeah.
And being like, whoa, what if I'm the love of my life and I follow my loves to get a life that I love?
That's the MDMA talking, guys.
I wish.
That's great. I think a lot of people don't chase those desires because society tells them that it's not like the right thing to do.
Yeah.
I mean, I know that for family wise, like I always used to try to make my grandparents proud, and like I'll go home even like a couple years ago and be like, so when are you going to med school? I'm like, that's not happening. I'm sorry. Like, you've been asking me this for 10 years, bro.
It seems like you want to have a kid in med school. That's your life.
Yeah.
I'm over here living mine.
Yeah. How do you deal with the dichotomy of your family still in that headspace of like the religious stuff to you making satires of it on a day-to-day basis for a living?
Yeah, I mean, maybe they're much the bigger people for, still being loving toward me, even though I'm satirizing what, they view as like the reality.
But it was your reality for the longest time as well, right?
Yeah, totally.
Like, how did you get out of that? How did you break free? I don't know if it's free. Just break away.
Question. I think at first I just rebelled. I was like, well, I guess it is the truth that there's a heaven and there's a hell. There's a very real hell awaiting people who do not, get it right. And
you rebelled against that?
Yeah, I was like, that sucks. I hate that, like, when I die, I'm going to go to hell. But the way I want to live, it looks like I'm kind of on a path to hell. Because like, I was taught, like, there are 10 commandments in the Bible, but I was basically taught 3 commandments. Like as an adolescent growing up in purity culture, they were like, do not drink, do not smoke, do not fuck. And so I was like, so the only fucking roadmap I had was they gave me some don'ts. And so I was like, well, I'm going to react to those things, and I'm going to see what those are all about.
I'm going to do all those 3 things that I'm not supposed to do.
Yeah.
And then you realize they're all great.
Exactly. And it's like, wait,
like,
so
they don't want us to experience this?
the good stuff? Wait, why are you outlawing the good stuff?
That good feeling is bad, and that bad feeling is good. And I'm like, okay, sick.
Yeah, shame is one of my least favorite things. I think shaming, the way we shame the things that we want to like dissect from the human experience, we try to shame boys into being more masculine, less emotional, all of that, like that programming that we're given. One of my favorite, my friend Edgar Blackman, who's an incredible stand-up and comic and comedian and improviser, he's always like, guys, they took crying away from us. Like a natural human, like free medicine that is your body's, like your muscles convulsing and releasing and expelling this, like it triggers like your hormones. It helps balance your system. Like it's a necessary physical reaction like digestion or anything else, like perspiration. If you don't fucking sweat, you will die. It's the way your body is regulating the temperature as this like sophisticated, beautiful, organic thing. And crying is the exact same way. And they took that away from an entire gender. 49% of the human population is not allowed to do that. And Edgar's joke is he's like, crying is like busting a nut, but for your heart.
Oh, that's good.
Like,
that's
and you
really
have
good.
to bust that fucking nut.
Yeah.
And like, I don't know. Now I'm being a stoner. What am I talking about? What was I talking about?
I don't know. We were talking about
We fell off the tightrope, y'all.
the benefits of your desires, chasing your desires.
Oh, shame. I was talking about shame. And so, like, for instance, we shame boys into having to be this way. Boys act like this. Boys do this. Boys dress like this. Boys don't do this. Boys never do this. Boys blah, 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 blah. You know,
it wasn't just that. It was just shaming about anything that you do. I asked you about the question about the dichotomy of the religious standpoint of where your family's at, and then the satire of making jokes every single day.
Yeah. I think
or the ironic part of it.
I think it's been somewhat therapeutic for me to make jokes about it. Because I was so overpowered and overtaken by those beliefs, and they harmed me when I was deep inside their grip of believing those things.
Also at a very critical time for development as a child.
It was really harmful for me, and there was so much shame and so much repression and again, like violence rather than regulation and communication and coming to understand each other and all of that. It was not that, but I hate the way shame feels in my body as an emotion when it burns in your cheeks. Like it's very much in your face, almost like your body itself, it has a sense of like, this is how I'm seen. I mean, doesn't your face burn? Like when you feel shame, your face actually burns. You get red cheeks and
it's crazy that shame is like, it cannot be real. Like, especially with the Puritan, the religious part, it's like that shame, those feelings are just placed on you by this organization. Yeah. And you're like, whoa. And then when you realize that, you're like, oh, I didn't need to bust a nut for my eyeballs all the time.
I mean, I think for me, stuff early on where I was like, wait, we've outlawed dancing? Like
that's tough. I'm pissed off about that. I'm trying to learn dancing like now because like I'm friends with a lot of dancers and they talk about like how healing it is for them and it's
necessary for humanity.
Yeah. And I'm just like, whoa, like it's not like I was taught it's not cool to dance. It's not cool to move your body. It's not cool to cry. It's like I was like, oh, these are all things that are like fun now. I don't know about crying. Crying might be like just needed, not fun. But I'm like, yo, why are they stealing this from us?
I know, to police dancing.
Yeah.
And why? Because you're going to start grinding on each other and your bodies are going to get warm next to each other and you're going to like how that feels and then you're going to start fucking. Well, guess what? Fucking is how we got here.
It's natural.
So what? Like, we're going to outlaw fucking? We're going to police fucking?
Yeah.
Which is the most essential thing for our existence?
That's crazy.
We're going to shame things like femininity,
Yeah.
even though females are actual gods creating new human beings.
Yeah.
And we're going to be like, to be feminine is weak. And to be emotional is shameful. It's less than. Like, what the fuck?
And it's ruining like kids coming up. Like I had a lot of kid clients that I've trained from like age 15 and in their early 20s and they've never really been with a girl. And I'm just like, oh wait, I thought I was late and I like was like in high school and stuff. Like these guys have a hard time like getting into a relationship.
Yeah.
And then these young girls have such a high standard of like men now because of media and stuff. Like especially LA. Like the amount of sugar daddies that I've seen bartending is kind of crazy. And I'm just like, whoa. Yeah. Like, oh yeah, there's this one girl who came to my bar and I was like, clearly, I was like, you know that this isn't a relationship. I was like, yo, what's the deal? And she was like, yeah, like I get paid $500 every time I go to dinner with him. And I get paid $1,500 every time like we sleep together. Yeah. And I was just like, whoa, that's crazy.
Yeah.
You know, and like a lot of girls will expect that. And like a 15, 20-year-old boy, 30-year-old, whatever, they still can't provide that.
Yeah.
You know?
Yeah.
And so it's kind of fucked up. Both sides.
And like I have friends who dance or twerk on like OnlyFans or OnlyFans type of things where they're like, I can tell that some of these guys, these young men, it is their only way to connect with a human female is through the screen and through the safety of he's alone in his room with the door closed. And that's the extent to which he can connect with an alive female is from that distance.
Yeah.
And that
it's very far.
Yeah. And I read about like the epidemic of loneliness in our country and stuff. And again, this gets back to what we were saying. If like maybe social media is the missionary and AI is the conquistador, like, I mean,
when you said that, I was like, that's true.
God, like if social media is weakening us as individuals because we're being removed from community that's so essential for our well-being, it's like, yikes. And
super scary.
And that's what the day after the election, the first time I saw Hunter after the election, he looked at me. Hunter from Nomad.
Not Hunter from Nomad or Hunter from Nomad?
Hunter from Nomad. He looked at me and he was like, what matters is the people in our daily lives and seeing each other and being with each other. Like that's the effect we can have. And I was like, whoa, that wisdom I think he knew I was really sad because I was really scared.
Yeah.
I was really, and also like, again, to be like, will I ever see a woman in the highest office in the country in my lifetime? Like at this rate, I don't know. But also, I don't have a crystal ball and ain't nothing exists besides the president.
Yeah.
Besides the president.
Uh-oh.
No, besides the
Clip that.
president. That's all I believe in. That's my religion is the president.
No, that's funny because me and Hunter talked about like that subject the day before. It's just like all that matters is the people you interact with every single day. That's the true mood that you could encapsulate.
It's finally starting to sink into my bones, and I'm starting to understand it on a like, oh, this is what it means for me on a the way I walk through the world.
Because there's billions of people in the world. Like the most stuff doesn't matter.
And we're doing it right now.
We're doing it right now.
By you and I doing this, we're doing it.
We're doing it. What are you most excited for in your life right now?
I'm writing a book.
What's the book about? Are you allowed to talk about it?
It's a book of humorous essays about liberating myself from a high control religion and about how comedy liberated me, or, it's been a path of liberation for me. And hopefully it's just such funny stories that I want, first and foremost, for it to be so funny that when you read this book, you just laugh so much that like it does that healing natural medicine on your body.
When will it come out?
I'm writing it right now, and I'm so locked up about it. I'm so locked up. I'm at the point where I'm like working with a lit agent, and I'm having to submit my chapter titles and my like table of contents and like a description of each chapter and like 3 sample chapters and all that. And I have trouble really forcing I write in such fits and starts, and like I told you the other day when you were training me, I was like, I took a Ritalin today because I was trying to write my fucking book.
Oh, that was the reasoning. I was just like, wow, okay, just randomly. I was like, dang, this Holly just be taking Ritalins out of nowhere.
But all I did was make my heart race, man, and then I didn't eat enough protein before the workout, so I felt like barfing the whole time.
Oh, you actually did. I was like, oh no.
No, I was like,
once those lunges came in, you're like, I wish I didn't say legs.
I know. As soon as you took me seriously, I was like, why did I tell him my legs need this? This is goddamn painful.
What's the process of the creative process for, I don't know if it's like book writing or joke writing or comedy writing? Obviously, you can't write for improv, but like everything else, do you schedule, like as a creator, you can't just let the ideas come and do it when you feel like it. Like some days you have to write because you need to write.
Right.
It's part of the process of like, I forgot which author, but he locked himself in a room he didn't need to write, but the only thing that he could do during that time is write, if that makes sense.
Yeah.
He could do nothing if you wanted to, but like the only option is writing if you decide to. And sometimes the best work came out of that time, like setting that time aside.
Yeah.
Do you have a certain like time or process of the joke writing, the book writing, all that jazz?
Writing's really hard for me in the experience of it being so solitary. I really prefer collaboration and to build off of and play with people. Yeah.
So not by yourself.
Really. I like, and that's why I fucking love improv, and she's my love of my life and my favorite art form for me is because but writing is me in the fucking rink or in the ring with me. And I think writing in many ways for me is a process of remembering and wrestling with language to convey really what you want to share in a way that creates pictures inside someone's mind and feelings inside their heart. Something that has fucking teeth that can tear skin, but like enough heart that like, so it's like wrestling, but with yourself. And I don't like that. I want to wrestle with people. And so I want
to roll around jujitsu and get all that good juju.
I want you to stretch me.
Without me hurting.
Yeah. So, I always listen to every writers talk about their process and that it's practice and you have to sit down and you have to fucking show up and all that. It's really hard for me, man.
To show up.
Really hard for me, yeah. Because but which in many ways, like according to the shit I've been saying today, that means like, oh, if it's not love and zingy, like then go do the collaborative, creative stuff that's like full of love and life and zingy.
It can't all be that, though,
I
right?
know, you're exactly right, because like I always feel good from working out, but the moment of those lunges or whatever, it fucking hurts.
Yeah.
And it's summer and winter. You don't get one without the other, unless you live in Southern California and don't move here. But
the hummingbirds and orange blossoms are great, though. Circling back around.
But yeah, but I want to write this book because it actually is something that is inside of me and it's rattling around to get out and it's driving me crazy. It's like, and so, but for what I tell people about like.
Where do you think that comes from, by the way? Like that feeling to.
Yeah, that compelling.
So like, for example, I have this
incredible, compelling feeling to do this stupid bodybuilding show that's not stupid in July. And it's just like, I need to do this. I need to document it, and I need to get down to my lowest body fat and gain muscle and all that stuff. It's just, I don't know, I need to do it.
Yeah.
Or even this podcast, like I'm compelled to do it all the time, every single week. It's just like, I need to get it out.
Yeah.
And for you, it's this book right now.
Yeah.
It's like, fuck, I need to get it out. What do you think that is?
I don't know if it's the future pulling us forward to like, maybe it already fucking exists.
Become future Holly, like right now.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Or because we know that like time is not an arrow shooting forward, past, present, and future linear. We know that's not true. So
What do you mean by that?
It's
not past, future, present, whatever you said.
Yeah.
How is it not?
Time is not linear. It's just not. It's like we make it linear because of the language that we speak, and we
track it.
Yeah, we track it with like
by days,
and something's
time.
happening because I used to be 7 and I'm not anymore.
Sure.
So something is like happening here, and we call it time. But I guess in like physics and in like quantum mechanics and all of the like the rigorous math of like how we've mapped what we know of the universe, time does not exist. And time, even like time, like machines that track time, like a watch, time even moves differently depending on how close you are to the center of the earth. So time moves actually more slowly at higher altitude than it moves at like sea level.
Would an example be like for in Antarctica, the sun doesn't go down some days?
Yeah, exactly.
Because it's further away from the equator, from what I understand.
And you know how like if you're super bored, like if I put you in a room that just had one chair in it and nothing on the walls and just a closed door, and you were just in a white room, and had you sit there for an hour, that hour would feel so much longer. Than if I put you in a room and it was like I was opening windows and there was a stripper in this window and there was your favorite band in this window.
Keep me here, bro. It's been 2 minutes.
Yeah, you would experience.
It's 3 hours. Sorry.
Exactly.
It feels like 2 minutes.
Exactly. So like and I feel like time is totally speeding up the older I get.
For sure.
I'm like, where are the brakes? Where are the brakes?
Stop.
It's speeding up.
Yeah.
And also like when there is more stuff happening, time moves
You just get
faster.
Lost in the sauce.
Yeah, exactly.
Like I can't believe it's already almost April. Like in 2025.
I can't believe it's still not summer 2024.
Yeah.
And we're almost to summer 2025. We just had spring equinox, fam.
Yeah, isn't it crazy that like COVID was 5 years ago now? Almost 6? No, 5 years ago.
Oh my
6,
God. I can't. Yeah, I'm experiencing time. So it's so bananas. It's so bananas. But what I would say for creativity is basically like just listen to your inner weirdo. Inner weirdo is that part of you that you're probably still trying to hide from everybody. And that inner weirdo is the one who has the most to say. And I think it has your most like deep essence. Like I think my funniest funny bone is like when I let my inner weirdo speak. And like that's when in moments where I'm not letting shame like control what I'm producing. So like your inner weirdo, I think, is like your most creative essence, I think. So the way to really tap into your creativity is to be like, what if there were no shame, no boundaries, no boys don't cry, no,
How do you bring that inner weirdo to life? Because, for example, you said you felt so uncomfortable doing those open mics, right? And going up week after week and doing the thing. And there will be a 15-year-old Holly out there, or a 18 or whatever 20-year-old Holly out there who will never get the courage or the guts to go out and do that first open mic because they're just scared and fearful, and then they wake up at 70 years old and be like, fuck, what did I do? Like how do you make that person do it at that realization of time?
I think like a lot of times the laughs I'm getting are when I let that 15-year-old speak.
Yeah.
And because the essence of what makes you laugh is that you're a little surprised. You think I'm going here, and instead I go there, and you're like, ha! And
I guess the action of going up that first time though, like how do you get to do the weird thing, like that weirdo?
You follow the fear.
Like you just do it.
You just have to do it.
There's no way out.
There's no fucking way out. There's no way through it but through it. It turns out it's the same with our feelings, and it's the same with like the fellowship of the ring, like going through the dark hollows and having to weep all the way. The only way through it is through it. The only way to deal with grief is to feel the grief and to get to the other side of it and to know that like it's an indication of how much you loved that person. You're feeling like the depth of your grief is showing the like height of your love. Like that again, like you have to be in so much pain every day for an hour to be able to get to a pull-up.
I think we'll end it there, Miss Holly. That was great. Where can everyone find you?
My website is Holly Laurent and Mega the podcast.
Go check it out. If you the shroom plug's on there as well. I'll connect it and I'll put Holly's code because I know there's a lot of people who've been wanting shrooms on here.
Just go to schedule 35 and then code MEGA for 15% off, and it's shipped discreetly to your door.
Beautiful. And then Instagram, same thing. Holly Laurent.
Well, I'm off social media.
Oh, I mean,
but yeah, it is still existing.
Yeah.
I'm gonna only post the work stuff on there.
Yeah.
But
Post and
so-
ghosts.
Yeah, man.
Yeah.
That's all right. I like that. So, yeah, Holly Laurent on Instagram. And
Are you allowed to say what the book's called?
right now I'm calling it Proud Flesh.
Proud Flesh.
That's my working title. And do you
Okay.
know what Proud Flesh is?
I do not.
When a horse, the way horses scar, like if a horse gets sliced in their skin and the scar grows back twice as thick and twice as dark, they call it Proud Flesh. And I'm like, fuck yeah, man, because the scar flesh is twice as strong as the non-scar
Don't humans
flesh.
get that too though?
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
And so I love the idea. Proud Flesh is a poem. It's, oh God, I can't remember the poet. I could pull it up right now in 1 second, but it's wait, I have to fucking read it.
Yeah,
Okay.
read it. We'll end with a poem, guys.
Okay, yeah, this is gonna
It's a good poem?
And I wanna, fuck yeah, man. And I wanna, and because also I love the word proud,
Yeah.
because it's the fucking opposite of shame. Proud, my like chest goes up and expands.
100%.
Shame, I cave in and my cheeks start to burn. Fuck that, man.
Fuck that.
Hold on.
Busting
Where's
that through
my-
your eyes.
Exactly. Okay, hold on. I have to search my poetry. Okay, hold on.
Oh wait, you wrote it. This is your poem.
No, I wish it was. Proud Flesh. Oops. Oh yeah, no, sorry. The poem is called For What Binds Us by Jane Hirschfield. There are names for what binds us. Strong forces, weak forces. Look around, you can see them. The skin that forms in a half-empty cup. Nails rusting into the places they join. Joints dovetailed on their own weight. The way things stay so solidly wherever they've been set down. And gravity, scientists say, is weak. And see how the flesh grows back across a wound with a great vehemence, more strong than the simple untested surface before. There's a name for it on horses when it comes back darker and raised. Proud flesh, as all flesh is proud of its wounds. Wears them as honors given out after battle, small triumphs pinned to the chest. And when two people have loved each other, see how it is like a scar between their bodies, stronger, darker, and proud. How the black cord makes of them a single fabric that nothing can tear or mend.
Wow. Wow.
I got all this free medicine of tears.
That shit's
Thanks, man.
wild. Of course. Yeah. Everyone miss Holly Laurent. And when you release the Proud Flesh book, come back on.
Thanks for the great talk, Nate.
Yeah.
All right.
Peace
See you
out,
later.
guys. Bye.